Hello. Can you hear me? So, looking like the mic is working, but yeah, no system audio. It's not the end of the world. Yeah, you can hear me. Yeah, nice one. Thanks, mate. I tried a bunch of things, but I was gonna watch a little bit of a snippet of a video, but other than that, don't think it's gonna really affect the stream in any way. So just give me 2 seconds. Just let me share this to the Instagram. And then we can get cracking. But if you haven't posted an image in the share a shoot, you better get on that, Jamie. Talking to you. Hopefully this link will work. Off to a good start. There we go. 2 seconds. Super professional, I know. That should go through. Yeah, let's have a look at what's going on here. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, it's good that you can hear at least the microphones coming through anyway, which is good. Yeah, no idea what happened to the system audio, but yeah, it is what it is. Let's have a look at what we got going on here. Who's in it? Who have we got? Jamie, how you been anyway, mate? You been good? You've been sunning yourself up north in this beautiful weather. Yeah, Sin, mate, how you doing? Sin, this stream is always flawless. And you just come in here with the poo emoji off the rip. Come on, man, come on. Steve, mate, how you doing? Thank you for confirming that you can at least hear me. So that is something. You should be fine, yeah. And I'll see what it is. I mean, it could be, yeah. Because the reason I was late starting was because I was trying to reintegrate the, whatever you want to call it, the input and all that sort of stuff. Normally it works, but yeah, I did restart the system beforehand, but maybe that was my first mistake. But it shouldn't affect the stream too much. We'll keep the K-pop music videos that we were gonna watch to a minimum. Yeah. I should have more latex pictures, but honestly thinking people are tired of them. That fucking sounds like imposter syndrome, mate. That is not true. That is not true at all. Yeah. I mean, any of us photographers could say the same thing about our work, right? You know, oh, sick and tired of seeing color gel shots, or sick and tired of seeing black and white shots, or whatever it is. It's always the same. But no, definitely people aren't sick and tired of seeing your work, mate. No, you know. I mean, Kidderminster it's from the north, and no, I'm ginger and burning 5 seconds. Yeah, nice, yeah. That's always good seeing the gingers on holiday. Yeah. Sin, don't pretend that you don't look forward to that. I'm not buying it. Vlad, mate, how you doing? Vlad missed the block rocking beats of the intro. We got Sharon from India. How you doing, mate? Huge fan of you. Thank you. Very kind. And what sort of stuff do you shoot, Sharon? If you're in India, what sort of stuff are you shooting? Portraits, street work? What are you? Studio stuff? Using strobes, natural light, LEDs these days. You know. I'm late and I haven't posted a photo yet, so it's just. It's going to be a quick stream. Yeah, we had like 7 photos or something. Yeah, it's going to be early doors, early din-dins for me, which is fine. I'm hungry. I could do with wrapping up. You know. So a couple of people in chat talking about sharing an image and that sort of stuff. If you're new here, then welcome, obviously. But let me just grab you a link of where to share your image. Yep. Yeah, okay. Hopefully we're good there. So let's check the main scene, see if the microphone's working there. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. It's all good, right? Copy. Yep. Am I actually on? Yeah. Let's have a look. Pop this in here. So, if you wanted to share an image for us to have a look at in a minute, That's the link. I've just popped it in chat there. So Sharon, if you want to share an image of sort of stuff you're working on, you want to just come over that link there, pop it in the comments of this, and we will take a look at it later on. No pressure, of course, but yeah, some people like to share some stuff. Oh, Sterling's in there. Late Doors, nice. Alan, that's beautiful, man. This is incredible. God damn. Yeah. Nico's work, gorgeous. Yeah, I had a look at that earlier on. Absolutely wild. Yeah, so looking forward to that one. Super colourful one here from Lizzie, as always. Lizzie's work is always crazy colourful, which is nice. And Tony, our friend from Down Under. Steve, no image, but a link. Have a look at that. So no pic. One day maybe, but some news you've probably seen. But during one of your live streams mentioned the new small Godox flashes would cause red eye or possible shadows from the lenses. See, yeah, who said that? It was Vlad probably, or like one of you mentioned that. Yeah, absolutely right, Steve. Yeah. So what Steve's referring to is that Godox have been bringing out these tiny little flashes. I don't really know what they're for, but like, they're tiny, and they're not like up on top of the camera like this. They're just like an inch off the top of the lens, which somebody quite rightly pointed out in chat that you're probably going to get red eye, because the closer the light is to the actual lens where the light goes in, the more chance you have of getting red eye, which is why I used to get it on compact cameras. Yeah. And somebody mentioned about like the lens casting a shadow, right? If it's this low and you have a lens like a 24-70 even, nothing too crazy, 24-70, something like that, you could cast a shadow. So that's what we were talking about. That's what Steve's referring to here. Well, Godox have been listening and recently announced, so this is this. Oh, is that as well? Come on, Jake, you can do it. Oof, I did it. It's like old man plays with internet. Oh my god. So TRC TTL shoe riser for small camera flashes with 90-degree tilt. Wait, what? 90-degree tilt as in you can use it on the side? Can you 90-degree tilt as in 90 degrees to one side? Surely they haven't spat something out after I was ripping into them. That's not the 90 degrees we need. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I presume what that 90 degrees is for bouncing it off the ceiling. I was really kind of hoping that it was going to be 90 degrees to the side, not straight up, but yeah, okay. So just buy a speed light, man. Just buy a speed light. Like, yeah. But look, this is so weird. Just buy a speed light. Now you've just gone to, and anyway. So look, it's there. Thank you, Steve, for that. I hadn't seen that. It is kind of funny, and it's interesting that somebody with a camera actually tested that flash, which is kind of wild. Because you guys spotted it immediately when we were looking at it. You were like, red eye, lens shadow, like immediately spotted it. So I mean, yeah, there you go, 20 quid or something. What we got, 17 quid. Yeah. So there you go. Thank you for that, Steve. That warmed the old cockles, mate. That is pretty funny. Yeah. If you guys want to pick one of those up, don't let me stop you. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Right, what did I miss in here? Oh, Jocelyn, a good thing I tuned to make dinner early. I know, right? It's gonna be early. Only a few images to go through. Yeah. Right, put share or two and let you pick which one. Yeah, nice one, Jamie. Yeah, do it, mate. Do it. So Sharon says more of a food products. Okay, that's cool. We don't actually have. I don't think I've ever seen product photography in here. I mean, mainly like I shoot kind of portraits, fashion, editorial stuff. So, but usually always people. So maybe the sort of people that follow me kind of shoot a similar sort of thing. But yeah, we've never had food and product photography being shared in here. Always room for a first. Yeah. I might be getting one of those little flashes by Mistake. What? Might be getting? Is that a new company, or did you mean to type mistake? I got to be careful these days. Yeah. I'm going to buy a new blog camera, and I saw one that comes with a Godox IM30. Is that the little baby flash? Yeah. Gripes, how you doing, mate? He's right, lad. Just or you could get a speed light. Yeah. Meant to say speed light. I know what you meant, lad. Yeah. Modern promise will have modern solutions. It's Gripes. They're out there, mate. If you need that riser that falls backwards. GG's. Just joined. Actually suggested a part like this, and one of the manufacturers smart. Look, I mean, yeah, I don't know who those little baby flashes are for. I really don't. Yeah, I'm trying to think. But like we said before, Godox has the market wrapped up, right? They just carpet bomb the industry with these products. Some of them hit, some of them don't. So, do you guys remember they brought out, maybe it was a couple of years ago, maybe it was even longer than that, that Godox brought out a speed light, a LED kind of light that sat on the camera that flashed, right? So they were trying to bring out this LED that flashed. It was only in white light, it wasn't the full color like the road lights or anything like that. But they kind of brought that out and then just killed it. They just never heard from again. So like they bring out a lot of products. I mean, it could even well be multiple products a week. So I mean, you guys keep me informed of a bunch of them. I think I see them, and then you guys are like, yeah, check this out. So there's always ones that I miss as well. It deals with the potential red eye issue and lens blocking. That's right, Sterling. Yeah, you just joined. Yeah, so Steve mentioned it here in the share shoot. That's exactly, because I don't know if you were here for the previous live stream where like you guys in chat were immediately like, yeah, that's gonna have red eye and shadows. I mean, yeah, you guys immediately spotted it. It's kind of weird that they didn't, but anyway, it's there for you if you need it. Yeah. My point before you kind of joined was that at that stage, just get a speed light, right? Yeah. DSLRs have pop-up flashes. So my first digital DSLR had a pop-up flash, and I got to say we used it a bunch, especially when we were doing event photography back in the day. And when as time went on, it was seen as superfluous to have this little poxy pop-up flash, but it was nice, right? I mean, DSLRs also removed the flash sync port. So yeah, they don't always make the right decisions, right? It was like a little flash up the camera. Yeah, I got it here on the, I think probably up there on the shelf. Yeah, the Fuji S2 that I had. Yeah, it's a little button on the side and it just popped up. Honestly, it was like, if you needed it, it was great. Like I said, for event stuff or even weddings. Doing stuff at night. Like we used it a bunch. But it was always there. So Sin says, just bought a DJI Mini Pro 4 drone to play with. Very impressed so far. Well until it developed a fault. Oh, so it was going well until it developed a fault. Oh, really? Had a problem already? What was the issue, Sin? Was it user error? Did you crash it into a tree? Like, what was it? Yeah. Godox just throwing out stuff and see what sticks. Gripes. That's exactly. I mean, look, and like they come out with a lot of bangers, and you got to remember that nobody kind of remembers the products that don't stick, right? Nobody remembers that LED that flashed. That they tried to push for a little bit, and that kind of works for them, right? They put it out, it doesn't work, it just vaporizes, and people only remember the stuff that does work. So it's kind of win-win for them that they're a size now that they can put out so many products. Since talking about his drone, he says Amazon refunded it, so I'm ordering a replacement. Okay, nice. Okay, well, fingers crossed. Second time's the charm. Yeah. One issue, the onboard flash was battery drain. That's true, Sterling. Yeah, because it's good. So my Fuji S2 was like 4 AA batteries. Let me see if I can grab it. Look at this old beauty. Look at that. Buttons on the back. Look at that screen. A monster. Yeah, and it had a little pop-up flash. Surprisingly useful. Yeah, like I said. Yeah, check out the batteries as well. So the batteries was like four AA batteries. Yeah, I remember doing like weddings and stuff on this, and just having like pretty much an entire bag of just rechargeable AA's. Yeah, this is the Fuji Fine Pix S2, I think it was. Yeah, Fuji Fine Pix S2. And you guys won't know this, but this is the Nikon lens mount, and you won't know this as well, but this is a Nikon body, basically, right? So this is before Fujifilm was the Fuji monster that it is now. I don't know when I got this, like 2003 or something, 2002, something like that. So it's just like it's proper old. So Nikon F mount, and then Nikon body, and then it had the Fuji tech inside. Yeah, you got slots in there for like these weird like micro drives. Anybody old enough here to remember the micro drives? They were funny, man. They're funny. This has got the hot shoe cover. There's no way that's the original hot shoe cover. There's no way. No way. That's probably worth something. Like when you're selling cameras, like that should be the thing that adds more value to it. Does it come with a box? Does it have the hot shoe cover? Yeah. Good times, man. Yeah, we shot a lot of work on that camera. It was a proper little workhorse. I think it was like 6 megapixels or something. Yeah, it was wild. Yeah. So to your point, Sterling, yeah, the drain. Yeah, so if you had, yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, I mean, it didn't pump out a huge amount, but still, when it's running on AA's, yeah. Are you still amusing doing the membership tiers on the channel with the exclusive content? I am, Jamie. Yeah, something that I've been looking into. I started shooting some videos and stuff the other day. Like, it's time consuming. I'm not up to speed on it. I don't really enjoy the video part of it, but I think if I was to do the tiers, it would probably just be streaming like a bespoke photo shoot. So not me doing, streaming a job. I wouldn't do that. It would be an actual photo shoot that I would kind of set up. Probably here. I got a studio in the lounge that will be fine. I'll probably stream a photo shoot there for the paid content. I might just try it out. Yeah. Why'd you ask? Is it something that you think is a good idea, or you think waste of time? Your cycle time was an issue. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, of the flash. Yeah. The downward sensor failed. Oh, really? So it was a major issue. It wasn't just like one of the propellers snapped off or something. It was a major internal issue. That sucks, man. Yeah. So Gripe says, just curious if you've seen the new Fuji X half camera, or maybe I just missed that. No, man, no, because I didn't do a stream last week. So yeah, so I actually had it penciled in to cover on the stream last week. But yeah, I wanted to have a look at that, right? Because it looks pretty crazy. Yeah. I actually knew about that oddity before custom mold. Which oddity is that, Vlad? What were we talking about? The flash on board thing? Okay, so right, what we're gonna have a look at a couple of bits of news. Grabus already mentioned like the Fuji camera. Sony came out with that crazy camera as well, right? That has pissed a lot of people off. We'll have a chat about that. A couple of bits of not many things in the way of lighting, and I did download this new piece of AI software we can kind of fire up and see if it's any good. Like, it's surprisingly good. I just quickly had like 10 minutes to test it beforehand. It's kind of limited, but the one thing that it does is like the skin smoothing and retouching, and it's just instant. So we'll just fire that up and have a look at that, see where we're at with the old AI retouching these days, because there's so many, right? Is it Ivoto, Invato, something like that, and you've retouched for me, and like post shoot. It's so many AI retouching softwares now. So we'll see where we are with that, and then I got a new lighting company got in touch the other day, and like a bunch of lighting companies do this, where they'll kind of reach out to ask for basically ideas, right? Like, Jake, we've got these new lights coming out. We'd like some feedback or your thoughts, consulting basically on lighting and that sort of stuff. So it happens a bit, but this one here is called Elation Lighting, and they deal with theatre lights basically. So they came down and brought a few of their lights to show me and get some feedback on. There's no NDAs on this or anything like that, so I'll just chat about some of my thoughts on it, because I've never really even considered theatre lighting, right? I don't know why I'd never really considered it, but this is kind of what they're known for: studios, theatre, and that sort of stuff. So there's a couple of interesting things that theatre lighting does that we're not familiar with, and I kind of chat about that. So I thought it was kind of interesting. Let me put this down. Okay. Talk about that, and then we'll kind of wrap up with looking at your images and that sort of thing. Yeah. So everybody's dropping all the names of the retouch stuff. Like, no, what is it called? It's called. Fuck, I've already forgotten it. It was so memorable. Yeah. It's one of these. I'll load it up. We have a look at it in a second. But yeah, so you guys have mentioned here. You got Evoto. Sterling says, I love Evoto. Okay. Interested AI software as I use Evoto. So Jamie uses Evoto. Wow, okay. So Vlad is retouched for me. He's saying I've heard of that one. Yeah. Aperture announced a few things on their FB page. They will Wales Photography Show now. Have some interesting lights on display. Really, Steve? Do you have a link to anything? Yeah, pass it over, man. Yeah. Steve's on the pulse, man. If you ever want to know the latest gear releases, Steve's your man. Yeah, I'm editing a wedding right now. Bride and groom were in the 70s and 80s. Checked for an update this morning, and they added the category for elderly man, elderly woman. Okay, nice. All right. Elation were at W&W. W&W? Oh, is that the Wales thingy you mentioned? Wales and West? Okay, so Elation is another AI software, I guess. Yeah. They update it so often. I mean, I suppose because the software's online, I guess they can do, yeah. I tried Evoto as well, Vlad says. If you need discount code for it. I know, man, I know. Yeah, they reached out and like, do you want to promote this? And I was like, it's not for me, yeah, and I don't think, for the sort of work that I do, that is appropriate. We can kind of get into that. So we're looking at. We've got some bits here. So let's kind of look at some of the bits of the news. What was the software? Was Aftershoot was the one I was just gonna have a look at. Right, let's get this page sorted out. Boom. Vlad's talking about the oddity being the Fuji Nikon camera. Yeah, it was weird. It was kind of like a very early partnership. I didn't really look too much into it, but I think they did a few cameras. Yeah. Personally, I'd be interested, as there's only so much information I can glean from the live streams and Technique Tuesday posts. The nuances I'm not aware of. You're talking about the AI stuff, yeah. I mean, yeah. Don't get me wrong. I am not the best person to ask for this. Yeah. But I certainly downloaded some free images from Unsplash and some portraits and stuff. They were kind of unretouched, raw-ish, and we can and I just had a real quick play for like 30 seconds, and it like you can definitely see what it's doing. So yeah, we'll have a look at that. Yeah. So did you go to Wales and West then, Steve? Yeah. Just checking up on that. ROTF, roll on the floor, laugh my ass off. What is going on in there? Up in his discount code. Elation is the lighting company. Correct, Steve. Yeah, you just mentioned they had a small stand. Oh, Jesus Christ, Steve. Honestly, let's just say dementia is hereditary in my family. So it's Jake, you literally just mentioned the company that you spoke to. They had a stand there. Okay, that's cool. Okay, well done for remembering it. Did you have a look at the lights, Steve? Anything that kind of stood out to you? Anything that caught your eye? Because they actually do a bunch. Yeah, we'll look into that in a second. I've been seeing posts for AI retouching with aftershoot. We just wasn't sure. I thought it was more about culling. Yeah, I think it's for weddings, right? I think if you're doing portrait shoots, weddings, where you've got like a massive volume of images, like it doesn't have too many features to kind of do much other than kind of the skins moving. But that being said, it seems to do that very well, like eye bags and like kind of mouth creases and all that sort of stuff and spots, and like it does it very well and instantaneously, and you can batch edit it. So I think if you were, we'll get into this in a minute, but lastly, I think if you were somebody who was doing a wedding and you wanted to get the edits out to the wedding client or whatever, like how many images do you guys send to a client these days? Back in the day when I shot film, obviously you just send them like a couple of hundred and they'd be like, wow, that's loads. Like now people are sending 800, 1,000 images or something. Yeah. So those images that you're sending that you haven't retouched, I mean, the AI software is a godsend for those poor souls. Yeah. I was talking about doing the premium streams. Yeah, gotcha. So Jamie says he was interested about. Oh, yeah, you're talking about like the getting into the, the kind of higher level streams, really, just getting into details rather than just me rambling. Yeah, fair. That's fair. Yeah. Danny uses the software all the time, but the retouching is nowhere near the level of Voto, according to him. Okay, interesting. Yeah, had a chat. They were more about my price bracket compared to Rotolite. Yeah, that's the other thing, Steve. Yeah. Okay. So, real quick then, these are the big boys, right? So, NOLED, those of you who don't know, this is the cinema side of Godox. So, it's very much branded as NOLED. As you can see here, it's like, okay, Godox is on the handle there, but they're definitely pushing this as their kind of premium brand within the Godox structure, and they are really targeting the cinema level light. So a lot of money, big budget shoots, and they got some big beefy lights in there. What's interesting is that they've now kind of announced this 300, which is, counter to what I've been saying about targeting cinema, like big, like 1200, watt heads, just massive, just dumping tons of light downrange. But, they're like, maybe they're seeing the quality of these lights and maybe the popularity, and they're going, maybe we can just bring these down into the, the bridge between photography and video and kind of cover both things, So this is really interesting that NOLED have started doing this, which I love. So kind of giving you the brightness at the full RGB, because as we know, right, RGB heads, LED heads, you're not using the full power of the chip if you just turned it to 100% red, right, or 100% green and blue and all that sort of stuff. So typically blue is the darkest, as we can see here, then red and then green. And it makes sense, right? Green, as we know, is going to be a brighter color, same as like yellow. But, it's going to be brighter. So it's giving you the kind of lux of these at 1 meter. Nerdy, but I think it's kind of interesting that they're kind of adding this RGB values. So cinema grade color accuracy. So this is what I mean, right? So they're coming down and they're trying to bridge this gap between photography and cinema, where maybe there's guys who shoot a lot of stills, but they also shoot a lot of video for clients as well. So they're kind of bringing it down to bridge that gap. Usual stuff, right? CCT, HSI, RGB, gels, XY, and then the FX. So standard stuff there. Nothing crazy. From sunset warmth to midnight cool. Oh, that's kind of interesting. That's kind of a cool. That's very 1800 to 10,000. So we're starting to see more and more of this, and I mentioned this before, but I do want to kind of reiterate it again about many of these RGB lights kind of fudging the numbers a little bit. Ozzy Osbourne just died, Sin? Oh man, that sucks. Damn. R.I.P. Ozzy. So these RGB lights, the they are kind of cheating a little bit with the Kelvin. So like the Kelvin chip will probably be about 2700 to maybe 7,500, 8,500, and then they'll kind of fudge the numbers for the top and bottom end. Is it going to be a big deal to a lot of people? Maybe not. Like, I think I was playing with their little Coke can lights, the MS60s, whatever they are, and they're doing the same thing, right? Fudging the numbers at the top and bottom end for the Kelvins, and like, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. You're going to color grade this shot anyway, but it's still worth bearing in mind. Counter that to something like the new Profoto LED head that has like 3 white chips, you know, one at 17, one at 4, and one at 7,000 Kelvin. You know, they're giving you a true Kelvin range because they've got those 3 white chips. So, yeah. So IP54, so I presume the rain is going to be fine. It's not. I think IP65 is like pressurized rain. Yeah, and then just the Bowen's mount. It's crazy that the industry calls it Bowen's mount. Like, that's a manufacturer's name, but rather than SFIT, it's wild. But yeah, interesting little light, and I thought it was interesting because of its kind of bridging the gap between cinema and photography, bringing it down to the 300 range. Yeah. How heavy is that? Let's give you a weight. Boom, 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 range, CTD, GM, brightness, yep, linear curves, yep, FX, CRI 9695. So there you go. So this is like, these are kind of low compared to many others, but for most people it's going to be fine. Yeah. I can't see a weight on there. It's just giving the tech specs. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Okay, that's pretty good. The body is 3.6 kilos, and then the controller, so the box, is another 3 kilos. Yeah. Okay. That's pretty good. Yeah. So we got the 1,000 there, 600. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. NOLED and Godox are doing interesting things. You know, like we all know, they're kind of dominating the market with so many different aspects. So it's interesting to see them pushing this as well. They brought out the Lightmons range, which is targeting the newer generation of streamers and YouTubers and that sort of thing. Essentially the kind of the same light, but just wrapped in a white body to target a younger audience and that sort of thing. So it's interesting to see what they're doing. Yeah. Ain't this here I drop in if you start to mix RGB light? 100%, Vlad. Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. So Vlad's saying, "Ain't the CRI drop in if you start to mix RGB with lighting with CCT?" Absolutely. Yeah. That's exactly what's going on. What did I see? What was it? What was the specs? Yeah. So like 95. Yeah. So I mean, Profoto is claiming, I think, 99 with their new head, to give you some idea, right? With the three white chips. So just to, you know, give you some idea of the difference there in the value, like it does make a difference. And to Vlad's point there, this kind of color consistency can dip off once you start faking it with RGB. Yeah. No, there's pushing the mirror so hard I see it everywhere. You're talking about little reflector things? Yeah. They're interesting, Vlad. I did a shoot the other day with them. Like, it was slow, man. It was slow. It is not something that I am up to speed on yet. But it was interesting. I think these aren't finalized, but I'll just show you. Maybe. Yeah. So using these mirrors, right? So you know, it has been fun. Yeah, it has been fun. Again, using these mirrors, just to kind of get that more like organic looking light. Yeah. It's been like, it has been fun, but damn, is it slow? Like, using these reflectors is slow, because you it's just not something that I'm used to. But what's interesting about this shoot here, I'll just kind of touch on it. But so she's being lit by one light from the front here. Essentially, it's one of those Coke can lights just practically on the floor. It's not on the floor, you know, it's clamped to a stand, but it's pointing straight up. And then above it here, I have a hard light mirror or a shiny mirror, and then a diffused mirror. So that light is bouncing into both. And you're able to kind of get this nice control and natural drop-off of light from hard light on the face, which we can see there with the skin highlights, and then it kind of drop off down the body with the softer light, and all coming from that single point. So, like, it's fun. Like, you know, it's fun. It's fun. Yeah. But it's slow. It's slow. Yeah, it's not something that I'm fully up to speed with yet. Yeah. Let's have a look. Yeah. But kind of like playing with these LEDs and longer shutter speeds and exposures and that sort of stuff is kind of enjoying these very organic, you know, kind of energy filled shots that you get as a result, right? I don't know, there's something about it that really kind of stands out to me. Yeah. Okay. Also, Grab's talking about the reflectors. Yeah, I suppose once you look at one, the algorithm kills you for it, right? Yeah. This is a kind of a nerdy site that one of the guys that I do sessions with showed me. Like I said, this is pretty nerdy. But what it does is it has this independent lens rating feature here. So if we just click on the Nikon, for example, it doesn't have all the lens manufacturers, not even close. They're kind of working on it. But yeah, they have these ratings here. So sharpness, distortion, vignetting, transmission, chromatic aberration, right? And they're giving it a value. And then this is the overall score here. So the Nikon 85 1.4 and 1.8 both tied here. So it's actually like this. Like I said, this is really nerdy. Yeah. But some of the things in here were definitely ringing true, right? I don't think it's kind of, you know, I don't think it's just smoke and mirrors. Like, I own some of these lenses, and, you know, I was just comparing some of what they were saying compared to what I've found personally, and I would go, yeah, I would say that's, you know, obviously that 85 mil. I mean, I've got that 85 mil there. The thing is crazy sharp. Yeah, almost no distortion, that sort of stuff. So I mean, like, it's you know, definitely very interesting. Take a look. There's a bunch of other values and stuff in there. Yeah. Hey, no worries, Jamie. Take it easy, mate. See you in a minute. Yeah. The good old TXO mark. So it's not something I was familiar with, Gripes. Yeah, is this something that you kind of used in the past? Yeah, I used to use TXO mark a lot many years back for camera sensors. Okay. So you guys are on this. Yeah, it's not something. Yeah. So I don't know what they've got here. Other bits like. Okay, so they review other stuff as well. Oh, they got the cameras here. The Hasselblad coming out. Whew, okay. D850 top 5. Get in. I knew it. Yeah. I like the way they put this with the Nikon up here. Look at all the other Sonys down here. I mean, technically top 5, but true top 5. Okay. 5800. Oof. Okay. Yeah, I hadn't seen this. Interesting. These launch prices. Hasselblad up there. I got to say, I saw some shots of this the other day. Absolutely incredible. That Hasselblad. Yeah, look, I'll be the first to say that these guys are blowing smoke, but they were very, very good. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, no worries, Vlad. Yeah. Okay, so one of you mentioned about the new Fuji camera, right? So this little fella here was announced a couple of weeks back now. Like I said, I meant to cover it last stream, but I had to cancel it. So Fujifilm X half digital camera. So we're coming in, what, $850 here. We got it here at 700 UK. But yeah, little digital camera. We got some 18 megapixels, 3x4. So obviously fixed lens, 10.8, 2.8 lens, 32mm equivalent because of the size of the chip and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, it's got this little, you've got the screen on the back, and then you've got your other little screen here to kind of compare. I'll just look at the film stocks and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah. So Gripe says, yeah, it looks like fun, but the price tag, yeah. So this is the kind of video that I wanted to watch from Verge here. It was only like 3 minutes, but sadly we don't have audio, so I can't show you. He does his little millennial intro where he's all goofy and pretends to be like one of us. But so he was viewing this camera, and I just mute that. But he kind of just talks about like the size, which is kind of interesting because I saw when I was looking at the product listing, I was like, oh, it looks like a decent size, and then he picks it up in his hand. It's like, oh, it's tiny, yeah. And he compares it to the more typical X100 here. I've got like the old X100 just to give a size. So this thing is tiny. And he goes on to say here, like I said, you got the screen there, and then you've got your little film stocks and that sort of thing. So pretty bare bones. Like it has that little flappy function thing there, which is, you know, when you switch it to film mode, you can kind of use that to wind on. It's going to have that tiny little light on the front there for for either video or for stills, but I can't imagine it's particularly bright. But if it's dark and that's all you got, it makes sense, right? And then you got that little fixed lens. He does mention you got an exposure compensator in there as well, but really other than that, not much going on. So he just goes on to show some of the shots. Yeah. Yes, Gripes. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Yeah. If I didn't make that clear, it is not a flash. Yeah, you're right. So it does. Yeah, you're right. You could definitely look at that and go, oh, it's got a flash. No, you're right. That is just a light. Yeah. And he just kind of shows the images, and like they are noisy and that sort of stuff. And like, you know, like Grab said, I think it looks fun, and I think it's definitely a nostalgia hit, right? It's definitely trying to capitalize on that old nostalgia vibe for sure. Yeah. So obviously there's got a bunch of film stocks in there. You can go through the old Fuji film stocks, and you know, there's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of good ones to look at. Yeah. So Gripes just sitting there also only shoots JPEG, which is a good point. Yeah, something I haven't really looked at. So that's interesting. Only shoots JPEG. Wow. Okay. The part he's talking about here is the fact that you can shoot these split frames, so you can have an image on one side and an image on another side with this border, or you can have a picture on one side, a video on the other. I'm not really sure what it's for, but you know, you may have noticed some of those light leaks and stuff there. Just bear in mind that they are kind of fake, as in they're not obviously not real on a digital camera, but it's part of the effect. So he goes on here to talk about the film camera mode, and this film camera mode, you know, you kind of advance it, and you can't review the image. So you shoot the image, you can't look at it on the back of the camera, and you also can't go back and review it either. You can't go, oh, I'll just have a look. You can't. So it's really, if you shoot it in that film mode, it's really just trying to make it like a film camera, right? Now, to some of us, you know, older folk in here, that sounds pretty funny. You'd just be like, just buy a film camera. Just like, what are you doing? Like, so, and then it just shows you the kind of contact sheet that you would get there. But so yeah, you wind on the image. You can't look at the image. You can't go back and check the shot that you've taken. So it is definitely being pretty quirky for sure. And I just don't know who this is for. Like, is this for the next generation of hipsters? Like, respectfully, you know, I'm not just throwing shade. So these light leaks, right? So these light leaks are these light leaks happen on the shots that you're shooting randomly. You can obviously choose not to have them on, but it's wild, right? It's wild. Like, what sort of world are we in? So look, check out his thoughts on it. This is actually a good little review. Very, very, very short and sweet. I think he went down to the original unveiling and he was given it for like 5 minutes to run around LA with. So and he shared his thoughts on it. But let's have a look and see what YouTube is saying. So how much are we willing to pay for this? So remember, what did we say? It was like 800 quid, 700 UK, 850 US. To the point here that the Verge is saying, how much would you be willing to pay for this? So about 850 for a camera with lag. That's the other point in the review. He said you take a picture and it takes a long time to kind of process that picture. So I don't know whether that's because of the film stock you're using and the light streaks and that sort of stuff. If you turn off all that film stock and light streaks and all that nonsense, maybe it's like real quick. But if it's randomizing, light leaks and all that nonsense, then maybe that's kind of the processing time. So yeah, so 850 for a camera that lags. Not good. People complain about the price. Somebody said here this could be an app, and it used to be an app. You remember Hipstermatic? I love that thing on the iPhone way back in the day, and that did basically this, right? It did exactly this. Yeah, randomized light leaks and all that sort of stuff. Camera should be 300, serving the same function as a phone camera, better sensor, and yeah, so you got a better sensor than the phone camera, and obviously I'm sure a better lens, but. Like who was saying it? Gripes was saying only shoots JPEG. So yeah. So people giving their idea of how much this is worth to them. So we got everything from 500, 300, 400, lag, unacceptable, that sort of stuff. Yeah. It is a good review. I would say it's a good review. Yeah. Okay. So look, everybody on YouTube is losing their mind. Look at it's not for me, right? It's not for me. If somebody gave this to me, I would use the hell out of this on a holiday, right? I would probably have a bit of fun with this on a holiday, but spending 800 quid is just not going to happen. Or 700 pounds, sorry, on this is a bit much. I think. I don't even know how much I'd be willing to pay for that. I just don't think I would use it. I think if I wanted that effect, I would either just shoot film or I would take more control, just shoot a regular image and then do that post-processing afterwards to get that effect. So yeah. Anybody here tempted by this? Anybody here do you know what? That could be a bit of fun. I found 800 quid down the sofa last night, so what the hell? Yeah, just kind of appealing to anybody. Vlad, this has got your name written all over it. Let's have a look what we got in here. Looks fun, but the price tag, yeah, LED like an actual flash, also shoots JPEG. Yeah, this is good shouts here. But Fuji is heavily pushing the Fujifilm recipes, and it works. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, so Gripes' point there, Fujifilm is pushing the Fujifilm recipes. So I'm presuming you're talking about the actual film stocks, right? The Sensia and Velvia and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, look, they are good, man. They are good. I've even got them on the old X100, like the OG first time they ever did the film profiles. If you're shooting JPEG, they're good, right? They're good. But now most of us in here are pretty up to speed. We can do a lot of this in Lightroom and that sort of stuff ourselves. So, Gripes, do you know if you can get these film stocks from Fujifilm to use in Lightroom or Capture One, or are they keeping it fully just in their cameras? I haven't actually looked into it. Like a preset, like Fujifilm preset pack. I'm sure people have emulated their own, but I'm just kind of curious if Fujifilm did anything official like that, or do they only keep it to the cameras? Yeah. JPEG. And to check your images, you develop them in your phone. Really, Gripes? Really? Okay, so Gripes has looked into this, man. Gripes has done that. Gripes has done the research for us. He's done the necessary digging. So you develop it on your phone. Wow. Okay, that's crazy. Yeah, expensive gimmick. I mean, it is an expensive gimmick. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I'll give it to Fuji. It was a bold move. Yeah, it is, right? Like it is. Yeah. Who else does this stuff nowadays? True. Yeah, that's true. I'm thinking. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. Any word I would use to describe this mode is offensive. Only word used, offensive. Cost almost, so Sin says cost almost the same as a drone kit I got, including 3x batteries, LCD screen. Was that what your drone cost? Is that what a drone is these days? 800 quid, 700 quid or something? Okay. Yeah. Let's have a look. I wasn't until I saw the price. It's just what I mean. Like, it is like, it is like, it's fun, right? If you were just on a holiday out in your pocket, I'm not going to say that I wouldn't muck around with it. I mean, look, like, I take my X100, like the old one is probably 15 years old now. It's got to be at least 10 years old, and that's borderline like this already. And I have some fun with it, but it shoots RAW, and I pull those RAWs into Lightroom and I mess around with them afterwards. So I would miss out on that aspect. Like, imagine taking a cool shot and you're like, bugger, I can't push and pull. I can't bring back that sky because it's a JPEG or something like that. It would, that would hurt my soul a little bit. Yeah. Lizzie says, when I first started, we were film, but I prefer digital. Yeah, I mean, I was the same, Lizzie. Yeah, I shot weddings back in the day on film, and don't get me wrong, I'm not going to go, oh my god, yeah, film is so much more organic and real. It's completely different. Any photographer who shot on film back then, it's just no way that they can sit there and with a straight face say, I prefer the anguish and costs and letdown of film compared to digital. It's not. It's just way more convenient, right? Shooting a wedding on film was so stressful, and it's not even like you finish, you get in the car at the end of the shoot, and like with digital, like boom, you can back it up on site if you want, yada yada yada. Shoot to 2 cards, whatever people do these days. I would probably shoot to 2 cards, but anyway, But when you get when you get in the car at the end of that wedding, it's done. Whew, relax. Back in the day on film, you still like, clutch in your film, and you got to take it to the lab tomorrow, maybe the day after, and then you got to, pace up and down outside going, oh my god, like I used to smoke packets of fax back in the day. It's stressful, man. Yeah, and all that is just gone with digital. Yeah. We got here, don't you think I would be frustrated? You have to dumb camera. You have to have a dumb camera on the whole day. Yeah, you're right. Like I said, if I had this, I doubt I would just be able to take this. You're right. I do just take my X100. Like the X100 is kind of in that middle ground between. I don't take a full DSLR because I've tried to in the past, and it never comes out of the bag. I carry it around all day and just never take it out of the bag. Whereas the X100, I literally can have in my pocket, and I actually use it. But yeah, you're right. You'd be gutted if you took this awesome shot on this and you couldn't bring up the shadows or bring back the sky or something like that. It would suck. Yeah. I feel offended by that comment with my name over it. I'd rather waste my money on some rotalites. Whoa, rotalites out here catching strays, man. If you have a Fuji camera, you should be able to change the profiles either on Lightroom or Capture One. Yeah, that's right, because they bake it. Yeah, you're right, because on the X100 you can't have any profiles or anything like that on the RAW. Yeah, it's all, you can only shoot them with the JPEGs, so it's fully baked in. Yeah. 760 for a kit. Oh, for the drone. Okay. I mean, they used to be extortionate, right? I mean, it's an impressive piece of technology. You have a miniature camera, video camera that you can like remote control from, like, what's the range on it? Like, got to be a mile or something. Up in the sky is wild that like regular Joes can have access to that tech now. It is kind of crazy. Lizzie says, when I graduated high school, my mum thought she was taking photos until we got home and realised she forgot to load the film. Oh, man, we've all, like, our parents have all got one of those stories. Like, it's just crippling, man. It is crippling. Yeah. I've certainly, yeah. It was just tough as well. I remember shooting like corporate headshots on location on film, and oh god, it was an architectural firm. I'm going back fucking 20 years now, but yeah, it was an architectural firm, corporate headshots, and shooting on film, and we took a white sheet. Basically, I mean, I hesitate to say it was a white bed sheet, but that's essentially what it was. It was a white bed sheet, and you're shooting on film, and it's so difficult because of the creases and folds. Like, there's no way you can get rid of all of that. So we were just nuking the background to try and get rid of like the creases and folds, and we were up 2 a.m. ironing and starching the sheet. It's God, shooting on film back in the day was just so many extra steps. Yeah, it was rough. That's right, Stilling. Yeah, I think Gripes mentioned that. Yeah, R.I.P. Aussie, man. R.I.P. Aussie. Okay, so not many takers in here for the Fujifilm X50. Can't believe it. I really thought you guys would lap that up. Sony, on the other hand, Sony didn't make many friends. When was this come out? Last week? 2 weeks ago? Do you guys see this? The $4,000, over $4,000 Sony RX1R3. That price tag is rich. So let's have a quick chat here about this. So the Sony new camera, 61 megapixels. Okay, so it's a bit of a juicer, full frame, XMR sensor, Zeiss 35mm f2 sonar. So those of you who haven't picked up on the ginormous elephant in the room, that is a fixed lens, right? Like, that's it. That lens is on there. I mean, that is the lens that it comes with, and that's it. You can't take that off, right? I just want to be clear, right? T lens, compact fixed lens. Oh, is it T? Or is it? Is it? Can it be taken off? It delivers 10-bit real-time AI-driven autofocus with pose estimation. What are we doing, man? That's crazy, right? So those of you who are not aware, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm missing out on some of the finer details here, but the AI-driven autofocus, there's a delay between you pressing the button and the image being captured. So if somebody is moving towards you, right, the camera is figuring that out. It's going, right, they're moving towards me. So when we actually take the picture, we don't want to focus where he was focusing. We need to be focusing where this person is when we actually capture it. So that's what is this pose estimation thing. Wild, absolutely wild. Yeah. Yeah. How I would love to be able to afford this Sony. Oh, really, Vlad? This is just in general. It was just in general. I would love to have a spare $4,500, or was it? I would love this camera, but I would only pay $3,000 for it. What are you saying there, Vlad? Yeah. I'd say if you want a similar experience, you can get Sony A7 CR and get any pancake case lens you want. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it can't be taken off, and that's fine. So Vlad, I thought you hated these fixed lens cameras. Okay. So this can't be taken off. All right. I was just checking because that seems crazy to me. But yeah. All right. Boom. Face detection. All that sort of stuff. Eye tracking. 10-bit. Step. Boom. 70 field of view. So there's nothing in here really that is nice touch screen. Yeah. It's a camera, guys. It is a camera. Fixed lens. And we would need to see the images, right? Because what are we doing here? We're muscling in on the Hasselblad people, right? Like the people that buy a Hasselblad, the people that have the spare change for a Hasselblad. That's who this is targeted at, right? This is not targeted at proper photographers, right? Respectfully, because if you're going to have another camera, or is this targeted at the Leica user? Is this trying to be the Sony Leica? I guess is 100% trying to be the Sony Leica. 100%. Yeah. Has anybody seen any images from this thing? I mean, that looked good. Damn, Sony's going dark and moody, man. Kind of into it. I mean, look, the shots look good. I would need to see them. Yeah, and I would need to see how they stand up to something like the Leica and that sort of thing. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Like Gripe says, like a Leica, 100%. Yeah. I would love to have this camera. Really, Vlad? Okay, interesting. I didn't see you as that. Okay, that's cool. How you doing, Jamie? Welcome back, mate. It's like the Leica, but cheaper. So, Gripes is head of Sony marketing here. Basically saying it's like the Leica but cheaper. He's saying this is a bit of a bargain. Same way, I would love to have an RX. Okay, from Sony at full game. Yeah, fair. Okay, yeah, fair. Talking about the new Sony bloody point. I love to see the duality of man in chat here tonight. Yeah, I got the same sensor on the Sony A7R5. Okay. People saying it's the same sensor on the A7R5. Okay. So we really need to be looking at how it is talking to that lens, and because those cameras, fixed lenses, like what Gripe said there about the Leica, like those things are cult cameras, right? And if you're willing to pay that extra amount for this very refined system where you have complete synergy between sensor and lens, there's no there's no deviation there. Everything is locked in place. This has been specifically designed and tuned to be working with that exact lens. That's where the Leica world is, right? And that's kind of what they're going for. So I would need to see the images, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Who's going to be who would do something like this? Like Fuji does something like small compact camera. I'm talking about at the lower end. Sony's coming in with some incredible cameras for that size, and you can change the lenses on those. But I would argue that the quality of those images are beautiful. Yeah. I mean, Fuji also released the GFX, so the fixed lens camera are back in action. That's right, they did. Yeah, we did kind of mention that, I think, a while back. But you're absolutely right. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah. So Grabs' point there is the Fuji GFX, those that you don't know, like medium format style Fuji camera. Big boy, for sure. A lot of money, but fixed lens, yeah. Let me play devil's advocate. You have one focal length and that's it. You will learn the heck out of it. That's true, Vlad. Yeah, if you need to go through that learning process, then sure. But for many people, I would assume that you kind of grow out of that. Look, you're right? And I'll play devil's advocate like you are, and say you could say the same thing about this, right? In that if you can't see the image, you can't review the image. And I know you're going to be calling BS on this. I was about to say cap, but I'll keep it. I'll keep it civil. If you can't see the images and you really have to think about the shot before you take it, like you would learn the hell out of shooting with this, because you're really having to think about the shot before you take it. You can't see it. I think we're very guilty of just just rattling them off, taking a look. Oh yeah, true. Let me just adjust this, or let me just turn that down and that sort of thing. You're not really learning, right? You're just adjusting. You're not learning, which something like this you would get good because you had to, right? So look, again, I'm just playing devil's advocate to your devil's advocate, and I agree with you. When you only have that one lens, like, you're kind of forced to think differently, and I would argue that it's a very good exercise. Same as this. I've heard of teachers who give kids digital cameras, but he's put like duct tape over the screens, so the kids can't see the images. And I'm being generous. Young people can't see the screens, and it's interesting to see how they very quickly change. Right, you blasting off shots, and then you get handed a camera with gaffer tape over the screen, and immediately, okay, I need to engage my brain and think about the shot. So yeah, I do agree with you. Whether it's worth $5,000, $4,000 to do it, yeah, don't know. But at this price point, I'm gonna get a GFX. Thank you, 100%. Completely agree. That's exactly the point the counterpoint that I was going to make, and completely agree. If it was this, I would get GFX all day for me. But then I'm not shooting street, and the GFX is probably not great for street. So it's all, horses for courses. Yeah, Fuji doesn't do any full frame. Correct. Yeah. So your counter to that is that this is full frame. True. Yeah. My kind of not counter to that. My kind of point that I was not making very very well was that I was very impressed at the quality of the non-full frame Fuji cameras when I tested them, because I was just like, oh my god, this is not full frame. I'm not shooting that. It's going to be awful. And then I shot with it, and it they've got some magic sauce in there that I don't really know what they're doing. And even the lens drop off shouldn't, like 2.8 shouldn't look like that on a crop frame camera, but on the Fuji's, like it looks beautiful. So they do really know what they're doing. But you're right. It is not full frame. Yeah. So Grab's saying about the Fuji full frame fixed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't see it. There's no feedback. If you can't see it, there's no feedback loop. You don't learn. That's not true, Vlad. That's absolutely not true. You do see them, but later on, right? The feedback loop is you thinking about taking the shot beforehand. That's just my opinion. Like if you're just adjusting and accommodating the whole time, you're not really learning, right? It's like you're making adjustments. Why does it take people today to get so long, to get good? Whereas before you were really forced. It's costing me money to get this shot right. You really were engaged. Yeah. Will you pull the trigger on mirrorless? It would be the GFX. Yeah. Yeah. Get mirrorless. New keyboard. What's the new keyboard thing? I've got a new keyboard. What are you talking about? Yeah. But yeah, it would be the GFX. They got a couple of GFXs that are very very reasonably priced now. Yeah, like you guys have said, some people enjoy being surprised to get their rolls back from a lab until this day. I do. I mean, I still shoot on the medium format up there, the Pentax, and yeah, it is like there's just no way. I mean, I shoot alongside digital, so I'm pretty confident that the images are going to be exposed. I'm not using a light meter. I just shoot with the get the exposure values right with digital camera, and then copy those values over onto the film camera. So I'm pretty confident it's going to come out exposed, but still it is exciting to see how they come out, because some of the shots are beautiful. Yeah, are beautiful. So I would agree with you, Gripes. There is that to it. Yeah. But that's a lot of money to pay for that experience, when you could just go on eBay and just pick up a 35mm camera for like 30 quid. Yeah. Vlad, have you seen any shots from this, or has anybody seen any shots from this? I didn't look into it too deeply. Has anybody seen any? I'm sure there must be YouTubers and stuff that have had it. Whether they're any good or not is a different story. But kind of interested to see how it copes. Yeah. But yeah. I saw a lot of people getting angry with it. Fuji also released another HPSC, the XE5. When did they release that? Was that recently? Yeah. Okay. Let me have a look. Fuji. What was it? Fuji XE5. I mean, that's not cheap either. Yeah, okay. That's hilarious, man. That's hilarious. Yeah. Okay. Is this fixed lensed or not? Oh, look, they got the old dial there for the film simulation. Wow. A good shout, Gripes. Yeah, okay. Interesting. Okay. Is that fixed lens? Looks like it's fixed lens, but I could be wrong. I can't see a button to remove the lens. Yeah, interchangeable lenses. Okay, must be on the other side. Yeah. Okay. So 1,500 quid. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll have a look at that. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know who that's for. 1,500 quid, but interchangeable lenses. Looking good. Looking good. I mean, look, you got the Leica there, 1,500 quid. So they are, they are muscling in on that for sure. Yeah. I mean, it looks good. I mean, it looks exactly like a Leica. Yeah. Okay. Looks slick. Yeah, nice. Okay. Yeah. That's crazy. Who's buying all these cameras, man? It's close to the X100 for 6. Is that what they're on now? 6. Christ. Okay. So let's have a chat about the kind of the AI software. A bunch of you saying that you are using them. Just kind of remind me, if you're using AI software, just shout out which ones you're using. So people have said, what, in Invoto? Sterling, you said you're using Invoto or somebody, or Invoto or something. Jamie, what are you using? Retouch for Me or something? What were you using? But there's a bunch of them now. This one came out and it's kind of free to play with until September. So I was kind of playing with this, yeah. I need to start sharing the live stream stories on my Instagram. Just dropped into my head. Right, yeah. Invoto, thank you. Okay, Invoto. Jamie, how much if you don't mind me asking, how much you paying for that? Is it like a credits thing? It's like, okay, I've bought 500 credits, or is it a monthly subscription that you're just paying a flat fee? And this goes for anybody using retouching AI software. Give me kind of some idea of the cost of these things. Because they either it's a monthly subscription, like £10 a month, and you can use it as much as you want, or you buy 1,000 credits or something. Yeah. So it's a plugin, Retouch for Me, standalone, login rather than the cloud version. So you're using it as a plugin. Okay. When you say plugin, you plug that into you using it via Lightroom or Photoshop, or is it an actual standalone piece? Yeah. I got Retouch for Me that I usually all the time when I got Invoto to try. Okay. So Gripes and Sin using Retouch for Me. We got Jamie's here is on Invoto. So Jamie says, I pay one-off fee, get 200 exports for 30 to 40 quid, depending if I can find a voucher code. Okay. Okay, so for the sort of work that you do, i.e. not a wedding photographer, right? Because that would get costly. If you were a wedding shooter using Invoto, that could get pricey, right? If you're exporting a wedding, like 1,000 images, couple hundred quid, right? But for portraits and kind of the more refined kind of editorial work that you're doing, those kind of credits work for you, because 200 exports will keep you going for a few months, right? So that makes sense, So Sin says I bought 4 of them, 80 quid each one. What the? You bought the plugin? You bought 4 of them? Is Retouch for Me watered? What do you mean by that, Vlad? Worth it? Do you mean worth it? Retouch for Me integrates into Photoshop. Okay. I use Retouch for Me as a plugin to in Photoshop. Okay, so you guys are using it directly in Photoshop. Interesting. Okay. And Sin says it's a standalone or plugin, so you can use it as a standalone. Yeah, I don't know. I tend to use something like that. I do tend to use it standalone, but if you're already in Photoshop, it makes sense, and you're just part of the workflow. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. Cloud takes credit for Retouch for Me, and standalone you just buy them once and you can use them as much as you want, but have to buy them separately. Okay. So Jamie's counter argument here is, I think the cost will be offset with the amount of time saved. Right? Fair? Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Good point. Yeah. The individual plugins. Okay. So prices do seem to vary a little bit then. So I don't even know what the pricing of this is. What's this one? Okay, so on this one, this after shoot, we've got selects, unlimited culling. Okay, so somebody pointed out that they heard that after shoot was more for culling and that sort of thing, and it definitely seems that vibe, definitely more towards the wedding stuff, right? So it has, and we'll open it up in a minute, and it has kind of these different modes. So culling, where you're just going through and choosing the shots. Most of us here already have Lightroom, so it's probably going to be pointless, right? Essentials, edit with Aftershoot's pre-built marketplace styles, $20 a month. Unlimited AI editing, access to the styles. So we'll have a look at those in a minute. These are kind of AI presets for retouching, but it's pretty basic stuff. You know, most of us here are going to be more than capable to work out what's going to be a good fit. So the Pro is unlimited culling and editing with your own personal AI editing profile. I mean, that seems... Yo, what? Are they trying to say that you can't save your own preset in there? No way. Come on, that's so cheeky. You got to pay an extra $20 to save your own preset? We'll have a look in a minute. We'll have a look. You know, so Max is perfect for high volume photography. Just is perfect. You don't get anything extra. It's perfect. So I think what you actually get is an extra. You get four extra profiles for AI editing. I don't know about the pricing structure on this, guys. Seems fucking wild. No, seriously, I know Vlad sounds like he was joking, but he says if anybody wants Evoto credits, you got a discount. If you want to just check it out, Hook, you know, reach out to Vlad and take a look for yourself. Yeah, look, you know, I think I tried it on stream years ago. You know, it's not for the sort of work that I do, but it works for a lot of people. So yeah, take a look. I use the Heal, Dodge and Burn, Fabric and Portrait Volume plugins. Sin, that sounds like you got a lot more control than this one. Yeah. So Jimmy says, I've literally for Evoto up and running in front of me. Evoto you pay export. Evoto you pay export. Okay, so you can use as much as you want, but you're billing you for the exports. Okay, yeah. Research for me has the cloud, and that's when you pay. Okay. Yeah. I have 173 credits left. Keep on doing surveys and they give me free credits. Oh, is that the deal, Jamie? Nice. Okay. There's AI presets that you can customize and save. Yeah, I presume they all have, right? Okay, let's open this thing up if we can. Let me just hopefully I can let's have a look. So I couldn't I couldn't do an individual file. I had to put them in this. You had to put it in a folder. Not a major deal, but you know, you have to have them in a folder. That's fine. Yes, fine. Okay. So these images, for clarity, I got these from Unsplash. So these are totally free, able to use images from Unsplash. Just went on there and just typed in raw portrait, and you just bring up a bunch, right? So we're at the import section here, then we can come over to the cull. So this is the bit where they're going to do the AI culling of which images you should keep. And let's have a look. Portraits, headshots. I didn't actually do this before. So choose how many photos you'd like AI to select for you. Standard. Okay. 5-star. Use the sidebar to choose how many images you want to be selected. You start culling. Okay. So, okay. If that doesn't keep all of them, I'm going to lose my shit. You just saved yourself 17 seconds. Love it. Okay. So color results. We've grouped your photos together, accepted and non-accepted. Okay. So I wonder what they got rid of. Let's review your selected photos. Okay. Yeah. So not accepted? Who didn't make it? This one. She got cut, man. Oof. She got cut. Okay, I presume that's kind of like BTS, and the AI program probably just thought you were testing the flash or something, not an actual portrait. Okay. I can kind of see why that was skipped. I thought this guy was going to be skipped just because it's kind of overexposed and a bit raw looking, but I guess this one didn't make it. Okay. So can we just go straight into the edit here? Now this thing here was like the AI cropping, straightening, AI masking, all that sort of stuff. So you can kind of do edit 6 photos. Let's see. So I just turned everything on, but it's 6 photos. I mean, it's not fast, right? That's 6 photos. They're not big. You just saved yourself 3 minutes. Did I? Did I really? Okay, so let's look at some of these before and after. Displaying edits work in progress and after shoot results may differ from other apps. Okay. They look exactly the same, right? They definitely did something, but we can't see the before and after. Okay. So I think when I had to go in there, it's like, do you want to keep this? I'm just going to try again. I just want to get into the actual retouch part of it, because this is what I was kind of more interested in. The culling bit, by all means, look for yourselves. You can see. Welcome to retouching. Retouch your images effortlessly. Choose skin, natural finish. Okay. So switch to loop view. So it brings it up big. Okay. So the retouch, move the sliders at AI retouching images in real time. Okay, got it. Yeah, cool. Okay. So let's zoom in here. So let's see. So like I said, these were probably edited a little bit by the original uploader on Unsplash. Like the eyes maybe looking a little bit juiced, but otherwise pretty untouched, right? So let's have a look. We got blemish removals over here. You guys can't see that word, but it just says acne and blemish removals. So slide that all the way to the right. Review your changes. Toggle between original using the backslash or whatever. Okay. Select your subject. I've already done that. Okay, so we can see. Okay, so acne. So not much, but she didn't really have acne, so that's fine. Okay, freckles. She didn't really have freckles. Blemish removal. Okay. That's pretty good, guys. That's pretty good. Like, I mean, because it's not giving you plastic skin, and even at 100%, it's not letting you destroy the image. Okay. You know, because you would think 100% this is going to be like Barbie doll, but like it doesn't let you destroy the image, which is kind of interesting. So for here we can't see eye bags. Let's see. So we got like maybe a little bit of darkness here. Let's see. Put that to 100. Sync retouching adjusted so we can just basically copy the adjustments across the different images. Okay. Yeah. So let's look at these eye bags. I mean, you can't really argue with that. Again, like it doesn't let you destroy it, right? Smile lines. What the hell is that going to be? I don't really see. She probably doesn't have any there. Okay, fine. So we've got it down here. We've got teeth, brighten. We've got no teeth in show. So face, we can brighten up the face. Let's see. Brighten up the face. It just gives it a little bit of a glow. Okay. I could see that being useful. Yeah. Okay. So smoothen. All right. Let's see if we can destroy it now then. Oh, it does the frequency separation instantly though. I mean, that's pretty quick. I mean, obviously that is, that is a lot, but you still do have texture there. You can knock that back. Yeah. Remove shine, as if I would ever. Eye brighten. Okay. Even includes the little corners of the eye here, which is a makeup technique, so it's not just brightening the eye. Glasses glare and hair flyaways and that sort of stuff. So we got a couple of flyaways here, right? I don't know if you guys can see that. So you can't, it's just off the screen here, but below here it says hair flyaways. I'm just going to turn that all the way up. Oh shit. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Let's see this fella. So this is kind of a rough one, right? Kind of pretty bright. But let's have a look here. But you see, unless I'm missing something here, there is no, there's no brighten, darken the image, advanced filters. No. That's just filtering the images that you've kept in there. But look, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't see anywhere where you can kind of adjust the brightness and curves and contrast and saturation and that sort of stuff. It's really just for the culling and if you just want to be exporting it. But I think if you were just doing culling and stuff, I think having the ability to darken an image down like one stop or something, I think that would be pretty normal. I'm kind of surprised that isn't here. Because the edit here is here's the profiles. lemon zest. Okay. Browse profiles. Okay. So here we've got other people's profiles. I mean, they all look very similar. Okay. Let's come back to this guy. Let's have a look at the acne. It does work out. So the acne is takes out red spots. Okay, that's clever. And blemishes is going to be a bit there. But yeah, it's pretty good. What else we got here? We got one. So this is okay. So we got this is kind of badly lit. This. Let's have a look. See how it deals with this. So acne, blemish removal. Nothing crazy. Wrinkles, eye bags. So we can see here, right? We got the darker patches here because bad lighting as well, right? It's coming in from the side, so we're getting these kind of pockets of shadow. Let's have a look. Okay, so maybe a bit much. You can ease off on that. Okay. Looks real enough. Yeah. Okay. So smile lines. I wonder what it counts as smile lines. Oh shit. Okay. Okay, yeah, there you go. Okay, so we can smooth in the skin here as well. Let's see, I've done a pretty good job of that. You don't need much, I think. Like 25 is probably going to be fine. So we got some highlights here. I wonder what it's going to do with remove shine. Oh, it does. To be fair, it's done a really good job of taking out that shine. Why you would do that, I don't know, but each to their own. Okay. Brighten up the eyes. Yeah, it's looking good. Okay, so we got a lot of flyaways here. Right, I'm just going to try this. I mean, it's clean, man. It's clean. Yeah, very clean. Yeah. That looks very natural. Yeah. I mean, if you were editing for a wedding portrait shoot, yeah, and you had to dump out 800 files, you would just do this, you would fly through those, man. And yeah, Christ, back in the day we used to have to do this manually for like 60 images or something. It was rough. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's have a look. So let's have a look, see where I missed out. Yeah, presets you can customize. Here's one about Evoto. I have several of Jake's images saved. Just a color reference, and it will do a pretty good job at matching. That's right, I've seen that. Yeah, you can control opacity, tone, and something else. Yep. Oh, you might have some color match features. Yeah, stream started. I'm sure in the software it probably did, Jamie. Yeah, mainly because it's probably accessing the cloud. Yeah, my take for Evoto, if you do weddings, any kind of high volume work, a lot more valuable compared to me doing artsy stuff. Agreed, Vlad. Yeah, I would look if you're exporting 800, 2,000 images, you're absolutely going to be using one of these things, man. That looks like a pile of shit. What looks like a pile of shit? What looks like a pile of shit, Sin? What? The, that? What does? Software shine for bulk work. Yeah. Agreed. Look, it's not for me, right? It's not for me and the type of work that I do. I mean, you saw some of the images that I showed you a minute ago with those very kind of stylized cinematic shots that were taken at an eighth of a second, so yeah, like it's not for the sort of work that I do, and it really struggles with colored gels to work out where the face is, typically in my experience. Yeah. Vlad said something about, so Vlad said, yeah, I thought I saw Vlad say something about the edit thing. Yeah, I couldn't see, unless he changed it. Okay, but yeah, I couldn't see it in there. I'd be amazed if it didn't have some way to change the exposure of a shot. Or glamour finish. Okay, so you can just, it's kept the grain for the most part. Okay. Okay, interesting. Pro headshots. Pro headshot. Let's see. I mean, look. I mean, that's, you know, it's pretty good for 2 seconds. Studio port. What the hell is? I would have said student. It does say student portraits. What the hell is that? Yeah. Okay. So anyway, yeah. If you're doing a lot of bulk work, I don't think we have many wedding shooters and stuff here, but I think, you know, Sterling and Danny and that sort of thing in here do events and that sort of thing. So I could definitely see it being viable. Yeah. Voto is decent about color lights. Okay. Yeah. So it's been a while since I've tested them, Vlad. But yeah, I know back in the day it used to really try and, because it's using an algorithm to work out where the eyes and nose and mouth is based on skin tone, right? And back in the day, it used to really struggle if you had, like, you know, she was bright blue. It was just it would have a fit. It couldn't work it out. But what you're saying is it's a lot better now. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Just remembered, anyone saw the new WeTransfer terms and conditions? There was a massive backlash. I did see it, Gripes. Yeah. So you're referring to the fact that they were kind of sharing data from the images or something like that? Look, I'll be honest. I use WeTransfer for all of my work, and if anybody's got an alternative, like, I mean, Dropbox, right? I suppose, but yeah, for like sharing images with clients and that sort of thing. What are you guys using? You know, because I did see the backlash, Gripes, and it's like it's my job. You know, I'm like, what are you going to do? Any image online is kind of liable to be used for AI now. So I was kind of like, oh, you know, whatever. But you are right to take it seriously. Yeah. I don't like it. It's too automatic for me. Retouch for me does some heavy lifting, but doesn't take control like that software does. Okay, fair enough, Sin. All right. When you apply a plugin, it's plug in a new layer so you can go back to it. All right, Sin. Okay. Good feedback. So what Sin's saying there is that he's saying that looks like a piece of shit, that you know, his more refined take is that the one that he uses, Retouch for me, has a bit more user control and adjustability. It's fine. Okay. Yeah. I'm sure I've used it on here when it originally came out, but I don't remember it. Yeah. I do weddings, have 2 coming up. Oh, Lizzie, you do weddings. Okay. Lizzie, do you use anything like this? And follow-up question, how many images are you sending them to kind of look at? I mean, how many do you take on the day? 3,000, and then you send them 1,000, and then they choose 50 to go on an album. Just kind of curious if you don't mind me asking. Yeah. They keep adding new stuff to Evoto, which is definitely good. Yeah, Gripes mentioned this a couple of times about them having a lot of new updates regularly, so it's not something that's just kind of abandoned, that they're just leeching money off you. Yeah. Photoshop. Swiss transfer. Is Swiss transfer an actual thing, or is that a typo, Vlad? Yeah. So Sterling uses Dropbox. You still use Dropbox, okay? Yeah. So since Box up, each plugin creates a new layer. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. That is, yes, I know what you mean, actually. So I was sent Boris effects to kind of play with, and I've been kind of playing with it, and it does create its own layer for everything that is adjustable, which I definitely take your point that it is really nice to have that kind of control. Yeah. So Gripes is saying Swiss transfer. Okay, so it's not a typo. Yeah, heard it's good. Haven't tried it yet. Okay, interesting. You guys have been using it? Yeah. Unify skin tone. Evoto isn't for color gel lighting. It still struggles with it, but frequency separation does a decent job. Okay. Yeah. Great translation. Yeah. I've never dabbled in AI. Usually I end up with over 1,000 and send them everything, and they choose from there. I think a lot of people do, Lizzie, to be fair. And I don't know, Lizzie. It might be. I don't know whether you think it's viable. I don't know how much you're charging, and whether you think it's worth it on your end, or if you're just nailing it all the time. But it could be worth looking at some of these. Just to kind of refine those 1,000 images, and it probably wouldn't take you more than an hour. okay, granted, it seemed to take a little bit of a while, but you know, you can go off and do something else. So like, you know, might be worth looking at. Yeah. So Vlad says Swiss transfer is a decent alternative if you ask me, but I haven't read the T's and C's. Fair, Vlad. Okay, yeah. Do you know what? I have not heard of that. Yeah, I'll have a look. Yeah. I use Smash for transfers. Okay, but it was a much better deal when I signed up. Initially, I kept transfers for a year, but soon changed to 1 month. Steve, WeTransfer is 1 day now. I think you can do like 10 transfers and then you get 1 day. I mean, which is fine for me, because you know, I send the images to the client and they download it, right? I mean, worst case scenario, they skip it and I have to send it again, but yeah. I imagine they are using every image upload to train AI models. I guess, Sin, but I don't know. Call me apathetic, but I used to get my hair in a twist about it, you know, years ago when it came out. And look, my images, I know for a fact, I saw them, were in the original birthing pool of the Mid-Journey and all that sort of stuff. So like, for me, that I just personally feel that kind of ship has sailed. But you're right to question it, and for a start, it shouldn't be expected, and it should be very clear in the T's and C's that they're doing that. So yeah, look, you know, I can definitely see why people are getting angry about it. Yeah. I'm looking at Evoto now, though. Yeah, I actually enjoyed editing. I'm a weirdo, I know. Lizzie, look, I'm the same. I do like kind of drilling down. I'm not doing 1,000 images, right? Yeah, I'm doing a handful per shoot. So, but I do enjoy, you know, getting into the details on each of those images. Yeah. But you're right. A lot of people hate it. Yeah. I'm looking at it from someone who doesn't do volume work. Yeah, fair. Yeah. I do subscribers over sending videos more than we transfer 2 GB. Oh, of course, Steve. Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. Video. Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Okay. If anybody is, I don't think I did a very good job of selling this, but whoa, can I just get into the? There we go. I don't think I did a very good job of selling this, but. Do my due diligence and share a link. Okay. Cool. Right. I don't always do 1,000. I do more family and graduation than weddings at the moment. However, I'm going to get more weddings. Good, Lizzie. Yeah, good. Yeah. I personally, if I was you, I would look into it. I know it seems like a pain in the ass, but you can spend more time on the ones that they actually purchase and buy. But I think for sending out 1,000, you know, might be something to look at. Okay. So talking about this, then I mentioned at the top of the stream that these guys, Elation, got in touch and wanted to kind of show me some of their lights and get kind of my thoughts and feedback on it. So they came down a couple of weeks ago now and brought me one of their lights, which is mainly, I think, what is the KL series here. So this is, as you can kind of tell from that kind of intro there, they're more of the theater and studio, and you know they're kind of on programmed, you know, motors and all that sort of stuff. So big boy lights. And Steve, did it say you saw them down at the show recently here in Wales and West show, and these guys are now trying to look at other markets, right? They're trying to just, you know, dip their toes into the photography market. And like this one here, for example, this KL Core IP, which is the one that they brought down, I think they brought down other bits as well, especially modifiers and that sort of thing. Yeah. Steve, do you know what lights they had on the stand there? It's probably this one, right? And this one here, the main feature of this is that they've now adapted it so it can take SFIT modifiers. So, you know, the sky's the limit, right? You can put on whatever modifiers you want. It's a serious bracket that they made for it as well. You know, it's a heavy duty piece of kit, and this whole light is a heavy duty light. It's got some serious juice in it though. I'm not sure what it's rated at, but I did a couple of test shots a minute ago before I went live just to kind of see where it stood. And it's very bright. But as you can see, look, pretty like theater lights. Typically, all these lights are going to be, you know, controlled from a desk somewhere. Going to be controlled, you know, from somebody. You know, they're not don't have a ton of controls on the actual lights themselves, but kind of industrial style lights. These things were kind of interesting as well. Talk about that in a minute. It was a huge round panel. Oh, really? Okay. No, I didn't see that. But they showed me this fella here. The KL Core IP is what they brought down. And I'm just going to load up Lightroom here a second. We just have a look at some of these lights. So, like I was kind of saying, this is kind of a bare bones light, right? Very kind of industrial. And I'm kind of stepping around it here, but it was like the controls of the back was on the back of it was not particularly intuitive, and there's a lot of features in there that we technically wouldn't use. So what I mean by that is they have this dimming control as to how much the LED is going to flicker, power and all that sort of stuff, and if you turn that flicker down so you get a lot of flicker, you have a very smooth dimming curve is what they call it, right? So you're able to get these beautiful fade to black, right? Which is what you got. Typically with our lights, we just turn it off, boom, job done. But for cinema and theatre and that sort of stuff, you want this beautiful fade to black. Now the only way you can do that is by switching kind of the frame rate of the frequency of the light down to achieve that. And it shouldn't be a big deal for us, but it is, because we have to remember how LEDs are actually mixing the light. So let's just kind of have a look at what we got here a second. So I just grabbed some test shots. Like I said, they literally just came down. We were kind of testing it here. So this is what happens when you don't have the frequency turned up. So it's kind of interesting. So I shot this on these. Have a look. So I was testing it, right? I was seeing like what can we get away with here. So this is f2.8 ISO 125, but you guys can't see this because it's behind my camera, but the ISO, or the shutter speed, is 3,200th of a second. So very, very fast shutter speed. Yeah. In fact, can we? I'm sure there's something here where you can show the view. Is it view data or something like that? You can actually show view options. Well, anyway, take my word for it. It was 3,200th of a second. So this one here was 1,600. This one here is 800. Down here, 400th of a second. You can't see it, and so as that shutter speed goes up, we're starting to see the LEDs mixing in real time, which is wild. Now the reason this is happening is because this didn't have a white chip, right? So this is purely just RGB. I think it may have some other colors in there as well. I'm sorry, I can't remember, but it didn't have any white chips in it. So this is doing all of its coloring via the LEDs that it's got, which I think is the RGB one. Let's have a look a minute. So it says 400 watts here. So here we go. So RGB and then MA, which is is magenta and amber, right? So it's doing all of its color mixing. Yeah. Thank you, Vlad. Was it I? Thank you, Vlad. Well done. That just gives me that. Well done, Vlad. Well, that gives me the time. Where is that? View. Was it view options and then? Boom. Well done, Vlad, mate. Well done. Okay, we got there. So good lad. So yeah. Come back to a second. So yeah, so this is using RGB, magenta, amber. So it doesn't have a white chip. It's just using those 5 colors to mix everything, and it's kind of interesting because we see Godox doing it, right? We see Godox. Now Godox does have white chips, but they're usually in the middle, and then they kind of fudge the numbers at the bottom, at the top and bottom end. Yeah. Agreed, Vlad. Agreed. Yeah. So Vlad's mentioning that Blair, which I think is aperture, which is was it blue, lime, amber, indigo and red. So yeah. So a lot of these different companies are going to have these different versions of which LEDs that they're using, and a lot of the times we saw with what the no LED down here, right? Some of the issues that they have is power. So if you're doing like a lot of work with like blue colored lights, for example, you're losing a ton of power from this head. So what these kind of companies are trying to do is they're trying to add these other LEDs to kind of even it out. And this is what Profoto did with their triple white chip as well. So before, if you just had a warm white and a cold white, then if you're shooting at 2000 Kelvin, it's going to be far dimmer output than if you're shooting at 5500 Kelvin, which is using both of the chips, right? So, and this is a good example here, because you can see that if you just wanted to have this light set to a very deep blue color, you're going to be losing a ton of power, right? So different companies are now adding these other chips. So like Vlad mentioned, the Blair, which I'm pretty sure is aperture, which is using blue, lime, amber, indigo, and red. So now when you're choosing blue, it may use the blue, and it may use whatever indigo as well in there. It's like to kind of pump up the numbers a little bit, right? So, and that's kind of what's happening with these guys here. So you're able to get a far more consistent exposure no matter what the color that you're using, okay? But this doesn't have a white chip. So 400 watts as well, but this thing is very bright. This thing is very bright, and I'll show you my test in a minute. So one of the major aspects of this is that it comes with this lens on the front, right? That's part of the light. So it has this lens on the front, which is interesting because none of the other lights, like single point cob lights that I've used, has this lens on the front. Can anybody think of any? Like a lens that's actually on there, like on the, like over the LED to begin with? Kind of interesting. So this is the back of the light here. These aren't dials; these are aerials, and then you have this very small screen that is touch screen. Like, yeah, it definitely needs an app, which they are looking to develop as well. So lens on the front, kind of interesting, and let me just talk about why that is. So coming back to this point here, you can up the frequency of how the LEDs merge. So for photographers, we would just have it set to, I think 8,000 was the highest. So us as shooting stills, we would just shoot it at 8,000. So there you go. So they've turned the frequency up now. So now I'm 3200, 2.8, ISO 25, which is what I was here. Boom. Yeah. But the same, they've upped the frequency, so now we've kind of eliminated that kind of color banding, because now it's mixing those colors instantly. You think, well, why would you not just always have that? Well, the only reason you wouldn't do that is for that dimming thing, right? Which we don't do. Like, if we're not shooting video, we don't need it. But anyway, so these two things would never really conflict with one another, because if you would never see this, you're shooting at 24 frames a second video, right? You would never see it. So it was just kind of interesting on that. Very, very clean, like not too much of a heavy vignette. This does have one of their things on it here. IP lens is what they call it, right? That's the S mount bracket there. Absolute beast. Yeah. Fresnel lens was beautiful. Fresnel lens was absolutely beautiful as well. Let's come back to this. So we got so we're just looking at these colors here, right? So what did I say it was? Amber and magenta. So here we go. So this is the kind of the lime green, and then we got that magenta. It was that's a very clean purple. I mention that because in other lights that don't have that, you're basically at the mercy of mixing red and blue. It can sometimes look nowhere near as punchy as that. Okay, so standard stuff, right? I was just kind of testing like the pure colors as to how it looked. Pretty good. Let's have a look. Coming on here, you guys can't see the bottom, I know. So this is just the face of it. So this lens is right there. So here we've got the settings. So 250th of a second, 2.8 ISO 100. So this is a max power. Now I tested this with what's this one? So 120, 100, so 250th, 2.8, 200 ISO 100, 250. Okay. I'm just trying to see where this sits. Okay. So this is the, so what we're seeing here is like the 150 power Godox, right? So it's really kind of struggling to maintain the same power, and that's fine. Okay, fair enough. The light that I'm looking at here is 500. So this is the Nanlite 500 watt. All right, so 800th of a second. I just shot this a minute ago. 2.8 ISO 250. Let's see the same thing here. One of these was, maybe it was further back. Oh, here it is. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Get rid of that one. So 800th of a second, 2.8 ISO 250, right? So this at 400 was noticeably brighter than the 500 watt Nanlite, and a lot of that is to do with the way that it controls that light being thrown out the front with that lens. So this light sends light. This light pushes the brightness out far more consistently with that lens on the front, and I was kind of like, oh, how does that work with, you know, soft light modifiers and that sort of thing? It was fine. Like I put a softbox on it, I think here somewhere. It's beautiful, very, very, very clean. That's a softbox, right? So even with that lens on the front, very, very clean. Yeah. One thing that was very interesting to me was they have more range in terms of how they spread the light. So these kind of optical spotlights. So you guys have seen me. I love these things. You guys have. I've done reviews of so many of these different things over the years, whether it be the Godox one, the Nanlite one. These kind of projection units, right? Love these things. Incredible, beautiful, clean light, crisp light that you can do whatever you want with it. You know, obviously you can shape it, or you can get, you know, more, you know, you can do clever things with gradients and that sort of stuff. You can even get these beautiful soft lights with it because you can control exactly where it falls to bounce light. Love these things, absolutely love these things. Now, here we've got some sizes of some of those modifiers, right? So I always ask for the 36 degree one because that's the largest one. The Nanlite, Godox, I think Aperture as well, like they all do. Like their widest one is 36 degrees. So this is what these guys had. They had a same sort of thing. So this light was probably about 3 meters away, 4 meters away, and it was able to cover most of the backdrop. But they also do a 50 spread, which is pretty awesome. Yeah. So we've got like the normal ones, yeah, 36, which is what I have, which is what most of the widest ones do, but they do a 50. Which means that you're able to cover a massive space almost instantly, like I said, 3 meters away, and it's very, very even spread in terms of, you know, minimal hot spotting, hardly any vignetting. So this was the closest that I've actually come across to creating kind of daylight inside. Because typically you want something like further back, right, to spread that out, to get that spread, because you want that hard light. The downsides of these hard light is that it's channeling it into this spot. Small rooms, low ceilings, you can't do that. This has a 50mm lens, which is just like full body, completely even exposure, head to toe, with the light being like 3 meters away. Is wild, right? That seems super nerdy to a lot of you, I know. Like, what is he going on about? But if you do that with a softbox at 3 meters, and take a light meter and take a light meter of the face, exposure of the face and the feet, and tell me how many stops of light drops off from the face to the foot. It's massive. And you can go, oh well, Jake, my softbox is massive. And it doesn't matter, right? It's still going to be hot spotted, and it's still going to be only three meters away. So this was kind of really interesting. It has that lens in the actual light itself. And then you put another lens on it, which is what these are. All these are lenses here. I don't think you can see them. No, it doesn't show you the front, but they're all lenses, right? And that they're able to get this very clean spread of light in a very small space, which I haven't seen any other way of doing that. And again, that is the closest that I've seen to creating strong, bright, natural sunlight in a small space. Very, very difficult to do. Like a parabolic reflector costs $8,000, and that's how they do it in big fashion houses. Is they use one of those. And this is kind of doing it in a very clean way. So I was kind of impressed at that. Yeah. Tell me you put a beauty dish. I did, Vlad. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I did. In fact, you're right. I did put the Bowens 22-inch one on. I have no idea what it was though. It could be this. It's looking like it's fuzzy here. Yeah. I definitely tested it though. That's definitely a softbox, right? Or might not be, but yeah, it could actually be it. See that drop off? That could be the beauty dish actually. Yeah, look at that beautiful drop off. Right. Those of you who don't know what I mean, look at how it's lighting the face, and then look at how it drops off across the down the back of the head. Right. That's definitely the beauty dish, Vlad. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think the soft boxes was later on. But yeah, that's beautiful. So again, that's kind of interesting as well, because I was like, I have to test a beauty dish on this, because I presume what Vlad is thinking, the same as what I was thinking, is that if it has a lens in that, how is it going to cope with that diffusion cone in there? Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. Very, very clean drop off of light. It's funny because the guys who brought it down, I think, were they're theatre based, and they I was putting these weird modifiers on it, and I was like going, oh my god, it's just like, what is this guy's crazy? So yeah. Hey Brian, how you doing, mate? Good to see you, mate. Come back to the stream. What file format does it finish with? Can I import it into Photoshop? What are you referring to, Brian? Which one? You're talking about the AI stuff, right? The retouch from me. I will say on that, Brian, is that when I went to export it, you could only view it in Bridge or Lightroom or something like that. I would need to check that again. But that is a really good question. Yeah, what can I export it and then adjust it in Photoshop? I assume you'd have to save it out and then do it again. Yeah. Combine that with Godox mirrors and you get an actual sun. Probably will need 50-10 mirror, not the little ones. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, remember how you're always telling us to take BT. I know. So true. Yeah. So Brian's in it now, and I'm always giving Brian shit about not shooting BTS, and Vlad just totally called me out. Yeah, that's funny, man. That's funny. Yeah, Vlad is right. I'm always giving you guys flack for not shooting BTS, and that's exactly what I've just done here. Yeah. But yeah, they had the grids in it and stuff where you could kind of channel it down. It's kind of tricky with the so when I say the grids, the actual bars that you come in. So those of you that don't know, it's just kind of sheets of metal that you push in, right? This thing is so accurate with it being focused that because the blades are, I'm trying to dox myself here, but because the blades are basically overlapping, right? So you just bring in the blades down to kind of make it smaller, but one blade here, like this brown blade, is closer to the lens, so you can see how it's fuzzier than the one furthest away, right? Nerdy stuff, but it's interesting to see how cleanly this is focusing that light, because even the width of those two blades, and it was showing it as softer. So if you were going to do this, you would just use a gobo, which is just a flat disc, all the same depth. But yeah. But interesting light. Yeah. I think, look, and it's like these aren't crazy cheap. I think, you know, to get the whole unit and these expensive lenses and that sort of stuff, you're talking about $2,000, but it's not the end of the world when you look at the prices of other lights. And the fact that this was able to do something pretty unique, to be able to get like bright sunlight, full body, even exposure in a small room is actually kind of wild. Yeah, is actually kind of wild. Now, I only saw the 36 degree and it was very clean, but they said that they do a 50 degree, which is what we're looking at here. So I would need to see it for myself. But even at 3 meters, that was almost filling top to bottom of this backdrop here. Yeah, this is a massive backdrop, and he's got the auto poles going up here, and even on the 36 it was almost filling it. So 50 would easily do full body in that space, which is wild. Yeah, which is wild. Yeah. So Steve said he saw them at the show, at the Wales and West show there today. So they are kind of, you know, trying to put themselves out there in the photographic world. So something to keep an eye on, you know. Yeah. Was it heavy? Yes, it was. It was heavy, Vlad. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. There are a number of projector type units that just use EF lenses. Sterling, that's absolutely right. Yeah. I don't know whether I tested it here, but they have very heavy vignetting. Yeah. Oh, here you go. So this is the spotlight, right? See how clean that outside edge is, and see how clean the exposure is from corner edge to edge. And then this is a EF lens. Technically, it's a Nikon lens, but it's the same thing, right? It's using a lens, and these lenses are not designed for light to go that way. These lenses are designed for light to come this way. So as a result, they're not great for this. I've used these, and if you just want to mess around, you can get optical snoots. I've got 2 or 3 of them here. You know, some of them are massive. They, you know, give you a decent spread. Others not so much, but it's very heavily vignetted. You know, see how it drops off into the shadow as immediately. So it's nowhere near as clean. See this honeycomb and grid? You can actually see the pattern here as well. Terrible. So, like, you're right. You can get them, and you can B&H and that sort of stuff do them as well. But they're cheaper, and they're just nowhere near as clean. Yeah, nowhere near as clean. I used them for ages, but I would never ever go back now that I've got these. Yeah, this is what I mean. You can carve out a basically make your own softbox. So I'm shooting this through a scrim. So I just carve out this big softbox on the back of this scrim, and you get you get beautifully clean light. Yeah, just absolutely gorgeous clean light. Yeah. And because you're using this optical spot, essentially there's no hotspot, right? So if you were thinking that was a that was a regular softbox, it would be brighter in the middle. But here, there isn't one. Here I've just pointed it at the ceiling. So I'm basically carving out a square onto the ceiling, or here's like a V flat above the model, and you get this beautiful, just gorgeous top light. And again, useful for small space because you wouldn't be able to get a massive softbox up there, right? So yeah, these things are very versatile, very very versatile. So yeah. Let's have a look. I love those. I can put any lens I want to on it. Yeah, that's right, Sterling. Yeah, you can. Yeah. By the way, I have no BTS from what I posted in the show shoot. No worries, man. Yeah. And just to come back to Vlad's point there, it is very heavy. I don't know whether they say the weight of this, but I think it could have even been 10 kilos. But there's no external unit. Yeah, so it's just all one. It's all one unit. So there's no control box or anything like that. Yeah, I can't see the weight there. Specifications. Here we go. 10 kilos. There you go. Boom. 10 kilos. So that is without the modifiers and stuff on it. So look, it's certainly not light, but you're only going to be using this with a C stand. Really, this is a proper piece of kit. Yeah. But interesting times, man. Like we as photographers and image makers and that sort of stuff. Like this is the gold rush. Like LEDs are so cheap now. I know they seem expensive to you, but you have to remember that 5 years ago, like a 1200 watt LED was like $6,000 or something. I was doing work for Panavision and they were like 15 grand LED panels and that sort of stuff. Trust me, LED have come down a lot in price. I'm not expecting them to come down much more in price, and this is why we're starting to see companies dip their toes into streamers and YouTubers and making lights for them, right? The kind of the photographic market is kind of really saturated, and I don't think that we're going to see prices come down much more than they have already. What was I looking at? I was just looking at the actual lenses and stuff here. They did some other interesting bits, but this was the main one for us just because it was S-Fit and it had a lens on the front which was totally unique. These things were kind of cool. These were really great for lighting backdrops, which is what they use them for, right? So it's just a series of LEDs in this trough here, and they kind of use this panel on the back to kind of feather it as needed, and you get more of an even spread. So the further you bring this back from the background and then knock it down, it's actually easier to kind of get more of an even spread. That's just what they use it for. So again, just kind of their version of the tubes for coloring backgrounds. But check these guys out if you want. It's kind of interesting bunch of stuff in there, and it was interesting to see something different. I worked with a lot of lighting companies over the years, and most of them are doing the same sort of thing, but this was kind of interesting with that lens on the front. Was a powerful addition. How much is one of those scrims? Those scrims, a scrim is about I don't know, it's 3x2 meters or something like that. It's probably about 120 quid on wheels. It's not much. It would depend on the lens. I would test it, Sterling. Against a white wall. You can mitigate that vignetting effect by using lenses by bringing it further away. So if you've got it further away, then obviously that vignette gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's less noticeable. But if it's in quite close, it's quite noticeable. Okay. By the way, having a busy essay was heavy. Okay, cool. Right. I think we're squared away then. So before we start digging into the share a shoot and looking at your guys' shots, any questions, anything we covered here today? Any links that you guys would like me to send that I didn't include? Right. Let's have a look then. Let's give this a quick refresh, see what we're doing. So anybody joining late to the stream, every live stream we do a share a shoot. You can submit your image for us to have a look at, go through any feedback. Vlad getting in with the gels, love it, man. So that link will take you to this page on Facebook here. Just pop your image in the comments here, and we can take a look. Don't be put off by the incredible high caliber of images that we have in there. Everybody starts somewhere. Always enjoy seeing what everybody's working on. Good stuff though, man. Good stuff. I mean, we got a good mix. Even Wibbly put one in the last minute. Nice. Jamie's put a couple in there. Nice. Good stuff. Okay. So we got a good mix there. Good range as well, to be fair. Nice range. Good to have fun picking one of mine. Nice, mate. Let's have a look. So Vlad's up first, as always. I don't know how Vlad always gets to the top, but guess who carried a light stand and a tripod as well to the top of a mountain at a sunset? What a legend! This is some new grain recipe. Okay. It's looking good, man. It's looking good. I mean, looks like you had light up nice and high. Looks like we had clean separation here. What Kelvin are you shooting at here, Vlad? Because we're getting, I presume, or is this just done in post in terms of cooled it down afterwards? But we're looking like we're getting some nice blue from the dusk light in the background, which would typically happen anyway. Dusk can be pretty blue, as we know from cinema, moonlit blue color. So we'd probably get some nice cold Kelvin anyway. But yeah, nice kind of light hitting in from the upstage lighting, as we call it here. Camera angle's cool as well. Dominant. You're looking very, very powerful on that, and you're looking behind us. It's a good shot, man. It's a good shot. Yeah. Yeah. Feedback on that. Just there's nothing that shouts out to me, Vlad, that I would want to question. We even got catchlight in the eye, which is tricky to do. Even got a catchlight there, which was nice. Got the poses looking strong. I think you've done well to place that red where you have. I think some people may have been inclined to be more kind of nose on, but I think you've done well to keep that red off to the side so that we're able to see some of this Kelvin shift here. Kind of cool. Yeah, kind of cool. Well done for dragging a light stand up there, man. Yeah. Any monochrome submissions? No, Gripes, because I delete them and ban people as soon as I see them. Yeah, so you guys don't get to see it. Yeah. Peter Coulson's always sharing images in here. It's just like, Peter, I'm sorry, mate. You got to go. Jake is correct about not being intimidated by the show shoot. I started joining these streams without a clue, and since then everything has changed. That's true. I think Jamie's been a bit harsh on himself, saying he didn't have a clue. But yeah, everybody's got to start somewhere, man. Yeah. Can't remember the white balance, but the sky is massively tweaked in post. All right, fair enough, man. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, look, that's what it's there for. That's why we shoot raw, Let me also open Lightroom and post straight out of camera. Okay. Yeah. So this is your new grain recipe. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. All right. Is this a Lightroom preset, Vlad? Got some coloured light here from Anders. I think Anders shoots LED, but I could be wrong. Tried your classic coloured rim light, coloured butterfly in the bedroom situation instead of a safe studio environment. Nice. Yeah, it's funny, Anders, right? It seems simple enough in the studio, and then you try and transfer it to location or on-site shoot, and all changes, right? The room changes size. Now we got light bouncing off the ceiling or the wall, or the covers on the bed that we weren't used to. Yeah, so it's good that you're pushing it and taking it out of the studio once in a while. It definitely gives another mood when you also have the bed and the sheets. There's a light bouncing around. What do you think about it? I think it's good, man. I think it's good. And yeah, so Anders, what you're saying there about the mood, like you're kind of talking about the story, right? What is the kind of story behind an image, and any environmental shot like this will definitely tell a story. And look, you can bring whatever. I think Brian in chat here, he has like an inflatable bed or whatever it is, or blow up bed that he can kind of use around the studio with like natural light and that sort of stuff, and then throw some sheets on it. So you can kind of bring the story into the studio if you need to, and it works really well. Yeah, so it's a pretty good idea, right? You don't want the bed up the whole time, but just to blow up bed, and then boom, you can completely change the look of a studio with a few simple props that you can quickly tidy away at the end of a day. Yeah, very good. So let's have a look. I'm trying to work out where the lighting is in this and what's going on. Let me grab... Do I have my paintbrush today or not? Nope. So what's going on here with the lighting is that because her pose and stuff is up like this, this is the brightest part of the image. We kind of got to be mindful of that, right? This here is like the brightest part, and we kind of want typically this area to be kind of like the focal point, and then everything else kind of work backwards from there. Look, this is fine, and I am nitpicking for sure, Anders, but that's because you've been here a long time, so I'm being a bit stricter on you. But just trying to be thinking about where this is, where these highlights are falling, and try and have them kind of more there, and then this kind of tone here where it falls off the shadow is just going to give the face a little bit more shape. Yeah. So I'm trying to work out where this blue color is, but maybe we would just want to bring it around to the right just a tiny bit more. Of course, we're going to be fighting with this pink. There are ways around that, so you can use different types of lighting to make sure that pink overrides the blue. I do whole courses and stuff on that, but yeah, so it is possible to do this. Yeah, but I think this is a really good shot, and I think that you've done well with mixing the colors in a clean way, right? They haven't washed each other out too much, so it looks like you've kept them fairly separate. Yeah. Thanks, Vlad. I'll take a look. Yeah, but overall, yeah, great image for sure. And it's difficult mixing two colors like this in a way that looks good without them cancelling each other out or just getting washed out or messy and that sort of thing. So this is a good shot for sure. Yep. So this is awesome, man. This is really good, Nico. Yeah, absolutely love this shot. And let's just kind of read what he's put here. So shoot from last week. I had a black cloth on the floor over some pillows to create that rocky shape. Right. Cheap eBay tube lights behind it to light the background, which is what this glow is here. Fresnel as a key light and two lights with reflectors behind the model to get that glow. And I used a UV filter sprayed with hairspray. I love this shoot, man. I love this shoot. And this description is just music to my ears, because this is about making, something out of nothing, really, right? People going, oh, I'm creative, I can't afford this and that and all that sort of stuff. And look, Nico here is doing beautiful work with some pillows on the floor, a black sheet, and an old £4 UV filter with some hairspray, right, and some cheap eBay tubes, and beautiful image as a result, absolutely gorgeous. And look, I've done Technique Tuesdays on the UV filter with hairspray and that sort of stuff in the past, and like all of these kind of techniques where you're just kind of playing with it and making it work. Very cool. Yeah, very cool. I love that. This glow here is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. So he says we've got Fresnel as a key, which I presume is what's casting this very strong cross shadow here. Again, you've done very well to keep the catch lights in the eyes there, because that can be tricky to do. So brilliant to have those catch lights in there as well. Well done. And then we've got lights with reflectors behind. So when he says reflectors, I'm kind of expecting. Oh, that's not it. Where's my brush? There it is. What he's talking about, so he's just talking about like open dish. It would be my guess, right? So having the strobes back here and then open dish reflectors would be my guess. It looks like a fairly hard light there as well, yeah. And that's what's able to give us this beautiful highlights, and that's what's flaring into that lens filter. Beautiful, yeah, beautiful. You're right about the EVF lenses. I have both types of projectors, so I was able to compare. Oh, nice. Okay. So right about the EF lenses in what is kind of got a little bit of a furry edge or vignette to it. Yeah. Can do. I mean, like I said, you can work around it, but if you can get to a point where you can afford one of those spotlight units, I promise you, Sterling, you will never go back. Yeah. The UV filter with a hairspray looks Vaseline-like. Love it. It's absolutely gorgeous flare, and I don't know, man. I think you'd be very hard pressed to get that looking as gorgeous as that in post pro. As soon as this image came up, I was like, I bet you that is done in camera. I don't know. There's something about that glow, and you can kind of see it down here, right? It's even just kind of got this bleed through onto the black with that blue and that sort of stuff. Yeah, beautiful shot. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, great job, Nico. Really good stuff, man. And a great example of kind of something out of nothing, So we've got Tony Oliver here, our man from down under. A little lens flare boosted in Neo. In Neo? What's Neo? Is Neo like a software plugin, something? Is that what that is? So Tony shoots a lot of stuff. He does cosplay events to long exposure at night, in the park, to more group shoots and stuff like this. So Tony's always out there shooting them, playing and doing something, man. So Tony's always sharing something different each week, which is cool. Yeah. Luminar Neo probably. Okay, thank you, Vlad. Okay. What is that then? Oh, from Skylum. Okay. Also, they do. Everybody's doing this fucking AI shit now. Yeah. Oh my god, are you guys watching this? Like. Oh god. I mean, I suppose he went there, right? I mean, like, just what? It's just right. That's enough of that. Jesus Christ. So we got one from Lizzie here. Super colourful as always from Lizzie. My mum and brother were visiting from Louisiana, camping at the lake. Nice, yeah, perfect opportunity for some light painting. Wow, is that what that is? That's nuts. That's crazy. I captured this one of my brother. Plan to go back and do it again. Silhouette him to see it turns out. Okay. That's crazy, Lizzie. Yeah, you do tons with the light painting. It's kind of wild. I mean, it's it's definitely borderline psychedelic with the colours, but kind of into it. Yeah, very punchy. Yeah, I mean, definitely eye catching. I mean, that's crazy. That's done with light painting. Yeah, but that took a while. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, that is light painting. That's nuts, Lizzie. That's crazy. Yeah. Wow. What are you using then? Are you using torchlights, flashlights, whatever you call it, over there, or are you using like little LED panels, or are you using like gels, or are you using RGB LEDs? Yeah, how are you doing that? Yeah, because you got some range on it, because they're going up into the trees and stuff, so it must be must be some sort of torch or something. Yeah. What's this? Yeah, this is roughly the price of an old 50mm lens. Not perfect, but I would recommend it over the lens projectors. Oh, these things. Yeah. I do have one. Yeah, I do have one of these as well, Vlad. You are right. They are better than some of the wide angle lenses that you put on the front. You are right. Yeah. And look, on a budget, absolutely. Yeah, on a budget. Because how much is that? It's 40 quid is wild, man. Yeah, it's wild. Where's my other page? Gone now. But I can't remember how much that projection unit is that I have. It's 450 quid there. So yeah, big difference. It's like a tenth of the cost. Yeah. Okay, just checking this. Speed light. Is that what you're doing, Lizzie? So you're doing that with a speed light. So you're doing speed light as in, like, does it have a modeling bulb? Is that what you're using, or are you just firing a flash with a gel on, changing the gel, and then firing another flash, and in a different area? Is that what you're doing? That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I've certainly done that in the past. Yeah. Okay. Clever idea. Yeah. Right. Let's carry on for now. Wibbly City, check one in here. Got one from Alan here. This is looking beautiful, Alan. Absolutely gorgeous colouring, man. Now we're talking. Yeah, how to play with natural light and then to go with the vintage feel effect, vintage feel edit. Yeah, man, this is good stuff. Loving the colours. Like, any excuse to knock back the greens, and like you've done a really good job here. Yeah. So those of you looking at this, or I'm just looking at this, and I've already spoken about color grading and color toning and stuff in the past, and people really struggle with it and trying to understand it and don't know where to go with it and that sort of thing. Really, the best way to look at it is, how can I compress the colors in this image down to as few colors as possible and it still makes sense, right? So what I mean by that is, we got some plants back here, like maybe these were a little bit yellowy, maybe this was like a dark green, maybe this one here was a little bit browny, maybe this one here was lime green, this one here was moss green. Do you know what I mean? And a color grade is able to kind of compress those greens into this one tone, and it makes the whole thing a lot cleaner, right? Same with the browns, right? So we got the beautiful hair color, the beautiful dress, we got the brown of the trees and the shed and stuff behind. So we're really kind of drilling this image down into almost two colors, really. It's pretty much two colors, and it makes it really pop because we've managed to be able to color grade it down. this much. I think you've done a really good job with that, Alan. Yeah, really good job with that. I would be tempted to just come in here and maybe buzz out this railing. It wouldn't take you long. Photoshop now, you just would buzz that out, as we've just seen that idiot in Luminar Neo creating Narnia from a postage stamp image that he took. So yeah, I would maybe just take a couple of minutes. It wouldn't take long, and it would probably look pretty damn good just to buzz this out. And this whole piece would then look very kind of timeless, right? And I think that the edit that you've done there works really, really well for it. Yeah. So Lizzie says the flares are the speed light. The rest are color connectors from the light painting brushes on my flashlight. Oh, okay. So you're using a mix. Nice. Okay. So yeah, so I've had those color connectors thing that just go onto a flashlight or torch to us over here in the UK, and you can just, they have different colored connectors on them, and then you can do it. Pretty good, yeah. I use a company called Light Painting Brushes, which I think is the same as what Lizzie's using here, and they're good. Yeah, good stuff. Just 2 seconds. Hold that thought, Wibbly. So Vladis says, I'm curious about the lens on Alan's photo with a nice swirling. I'm not seeing much of the swirling there. Maybe a little bit up here. Yeah. I'm not seeing a huge amount. Yeah. But yeah, I would certainly be interested to know what lens you're using. So one here from Wibbly, composite with the AI background. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. I love the colors it's given you. What were you using, Wibbly? I think you're still in here. Using Photoshop's Gen AI thing. Are you kind of giving it the prompts in there, or are you using something like Midjourney or a external source? I'd be interested to know how long it took you to get that background. Are you just creating like a whole blank canvas and just typing in archway, Valhalla, teal and yellow? Yeah, kind of curious. But this is cool though. This is cool. Yeah. I think if I was being really, really picky, I think you could probably just tighten up the overall color grade to kind of try and bring the foreground and the background together just a little bit more. But cool. I mean, like even the model shot is very, very cool on its own. Yeah. This is Midjourney Sin. Okay. Impressive. I was going to say, because I'd be surprised if Photoshop could get it that good, right? Because that Midjourney is looking. I mean, those rocks and stones and stuff look super realistic. And I was like, is Photoshop able to do that now? But the background is really looking like a Renaissance painting type effect. Works really well for that type of shot. Yeah, and then tried to get the colors to match. Nice. Yeah. So just one final point on that, Sin. So you're saying you're getting the colors to match. One thing that I find is you kind of do your best to kind of get the colors of these two images to match, the background and the foreground, and then when you bring them together, that's when you do a final color grade, and that will help to bring both in line, right? So I think you're right to do it the way that you were doing it, but I think doing a final color grade afterwards is what locks these two in. And I think doing it the way you were doing it, and I think now that they're both together, I think you could kind of try and do a final global color grade that would then bring these in line. Yeah. Very, very cool shot there with the wings. What are these wings made out of? Paper or something? Did you make these, or are the wings Midjourneys as well? Because they look good, man. They look good. Yeah. Is this like how much of this is real? Like we got the hat and stuff. Yeah, how much of this is real? Yeah, very cool. Jamie bringing the spice. So Jamie's work here. Those of you who don't know, Jamie, long time chatter, and he just brought out a book with his 4 trillion latex images. This is good stuff there, man. Love the very strong separation between these two, background and foreground. Yeah, good stuff. This model is wild, man. Yeah. Yeah. Because my knee-jerk reaction is to say that the face has been over-retouched, but I think that's the way she looks. Those eyebrows are crazy. They're awesome, man. Yeah, good stuff. So it says, try to get colours to match, and then create a blur to create depth of field. Good shout, man. Good shout. Yeah, the model shot is in camera, including the wings and the outfit. So it is it? Good stuff, man. Those wings are awesome. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Did you have a pretty clear idea of this to begin with, Sin? So what I mean by that is, like, she seems like she's running like away from whatever's through this arch. Did you have this kind of idea in mind beforehand, or did you kind of, oh, this is a cool shot where she was falling over, I'll kind of add something in the background afterwards? Or yeah, did you have like a clear idea beforehand? The wings are made of packing crate material. Wow. Okay, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah. She looks like that basic retouching though, Jimmy. Yeah, no idea. I know, Jimmy. Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, it's wild though. Yeah, it's wild. And look, I've been caught out with it before. I've got shit online from people saying, "Oh, over retouched." It's like, that's what she looked like. Right? Yeah. 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 Good stuff though. Strong separation before. Yeah, as strong separation, like I said before. And it's nice to see the color in some of these shadows and stuff. Are you still using that plugin, Jamie? Oh, that looks like it. I forget what it's called now. What's that plugin called? The one that gives you that glow. It's nice. Jamie's second image here. I think I prefer this one, Jamie. I think I prefer this one. This one feels a bit more cohesive. Yeah. Good idea with this backdrop, though. I like this nice flare from behind. Yeah. Both excellent, though. Yeah. Yeah. Honoric, that's the one. Yeah. Well done. Well done, Grabs. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Background was done afterwards. I got the model to pose like she was about to take off with the wings, flapping to give her a hero type of shot. Yeah, it works really well, Sin. Yeah, it works really well. Definitely. Yeah. I bet it's kind of difficult for them to do, right? Because you've got this idea in your head and you're going and you're trying to translate the pose to them. It's got to be tricky to do. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, yeah, it's good, man. Yeah. Works well to just finish off these shines. It's nice. Yeah. Got one here from Styling. Oh, this is nice. This is good. Yeah, this is a setup I call Hotbox. Bare strobe behind figure. 2 white foam core boards set at 45-degree angles from the center. Yeah. Strobe is pushed forward till the bulb is just between the boards. Okay. Read that again. So bare strobe behind figure, 2 white foam core boards set at 45-degree angles from the center. Strobe is pushed forward till the bulb is just between the boards. The flash hits the board and bounces back to center. You're just talking about a V flat? Is that what you mean? Oh, you got a BTS. See, this is why I always forget to read. This would have saved so much trouble. Okay. Oh, okay. Damn, you made. This is another great example of making the best use of your space. That's crazy. You got that result from that. That's nuts, man. That's awesome. This is beautiful shot. Yeah, beautiful glow, gorgeous colors. Oh, you can just see the boards back there. Yeah. Did you intend for that? Can you see this on your laptop or screen, Sterling, where you can kind of see the gap here? Yeah, it's a killer setup. It is, man. Yeah, that is. Yeah, really impressive. Model is an actress too. Oh, your model, Sin. I'll come back to you in a second, Sterling. 2 seconds. Okay, I bet that helps with the posing and stuff for sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good shout. Yeah. So coming back to Jamie says his backdrop was $15. It does look like Dexter's set. Yeah, man. Yeah, I've tried these painting sheets before, and I kind of wasn't happy with it. I need to revisit them because I kind of want to do something with the diffusion part of it. I think there's more that I can do with it. I need to try them again, and for a few quid like that, it's not the end of the world. Once you've unfurled them, though, I mean, you have to throw them away because you can't really. They're just massive. You can't pack them back up. Yeah. So it says yes. Okay, so you had that gap there. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. It might be worth just brightening that up, Sterling. What do you think? Just to kind of get rid of that. Get rid of that gap above. Right, we're coming to the end here, guys. Just getting to the last shots there. I'll just give that a quick refresh. I think people might have added BTS and that sort of thing. Let's grab this image. Yeah, this gap up. Yeah, just like this gap up there. I would if that was me, I would just tidy that up, mate. I would just use the dodge tool, change it to highlights, and then just buzz that in there. Ooh, we've got data in the highlights as well. Yeah, just be careful of that, Sterling. This date, if you're gonna have a white background, I would just make it white. Yeah. Yeah. Unless you've added noise to it in post, which you may have done. Yeah. Either way, yeah. I would just close that up at the top there. Yeah. But excellent shot, and I would say you've done a beautiful job of retouching that as well, Sterling. I think that retouching looks super clean. Are you using your AI retouching to do that? I know you're going to say yes. It's going to kill me. Yeah. There's a touch at the bottom too. Oh, okay. So you got a bit there, bottom. Okay, fair enough. Right, fair enough. Yeah. Okay. Your photo. Yeah. I mean, you can't argue with it, man. It's looking pretty good, right? It's looking pretty good. So come on then, Sterling. Be honest. How long did this take you to retouch? Be honest. How long did it take you? I know you got to go in. You got to do your bit in Lightroom and that sort of stuff, but. How long did it take you to retouch? Yeah, I managed to 2 an hour before. Yeah, I knew somebody had done. Well done, Vlad. Oh, so that's actually pretty close then, Vlad. Yeah. So shot at 6500K. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Understandable, especially given the time of day. I said 160 f2, 160 per second 30 mil on my new grain 800 emulation. Okay. Nice. What the hell? It looks like this background is different here. These gaps are smaller. I suppose because you just darkened it down, I just brought it in. Yeah, weird. Okay. Yeah, nice. Okay. And this is a preset in Lightroom, Vlad, right? The grain. Color response, eh? Okay. I'm just going through. Did I think I gave that a refresh, didn't I? Yeah. About 20 minutes. Okay, fair enough, Sterling. Okay, so a process through exposure as well. Okay, so you spent a little bit of time with it. Thank God for that. If you'd come in and said, "Whoa, about 8 seconds," I think I would have packed it in. So yeah, 20 minutes. Okay, that's fine. I'm over the moon to hear you say that. Yeah. So just give this a quick refresh. I think we've got everything there. Boom. Just checking everybody. Yeah, all good. Guys, incredible images again this week. Really good. I mean, yeah, I'm not even blowing smoke. Like, yeah, you guys are really knocking it out of the park these days. Absolutely outstanding work. Incredible images. Yeah, really good. A good mix as well. We got, color gel and, kind of on location. We got this beautiful studio setup with, hairspray and a pillow. Outside shots, we got some crazy psychedelic light painting stuff here. Beautiful natural light, but beautifully color graded. We got AI composites from Sin here. Got some gorgeous color LED work from Jamie here, and Sterling at the end with nice, clean, bold, two white boards. Jobs are good, and yeah, good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Yeah, impressive, very impressive. Yeah, love to see it. And look, thank you to everybody who shared an image in the share a shoot. You know, it does take balls to put your work out there, put your money where your mouth is, and you know, share it with us. So look, hats off to anybody who has shared an image. And look, if you're here watching this thinking, oh, I didn't share an image this week, it wasn't that bad, was it? And if you're new, I promise to go easy on you. So yeah, don't feel put off to share an image next week. Yeah. So we're just gonna wrap this up. Before we go, any last minute questions, let me know. Don't forget, online workshops and mentoring still going on, which is good. I got a session tomorrow doing the projector session tomorrow. Yeah, should be good. So check that out. This is where you find more of the kind of refined techniques. Right here, when I'm, you know, like the free stuff is me just talking quite kind of broadly, but the online workshops go into a lot more detail on some of the more advanced setups. So definitely check those out if you're interested. And then the mentoring is going to be more targeted to your needs, right? Business or studio or setting up retouching processes and all that sort of stuff. So check that out as well. All right, guys, we didn't have any music today, so I'm so sorry about that. I know some of you are devastated, but I promise to try and sort out the music for next time. Just don't know what's going on with that. We'll get it sorted. So thank you, everybody that tuned in. Any update in the Color 2.0 workshop? You guys are good, man. I love you. You guys are good. Yep, it is. I am working on a fairly big proposal at the moment for a job. So I wanted to get it out last week, but I'm kind of focusing on that. But the video is done. The video is on YouTube. It's just not shared yet. So everything is in place. I just need to pull the trigger on it. But yeah, thank you, Jamie, for following up, mate. You're and Sin as well. Thank you guys for following up. It brings me great joy to know that people still want to learn how to take proper images, not like that Luminar Neo guy. But yeah, it is coming. I promise. Yeah. All right then, guys. Thank you so much for sharing the images, and to get the music sorted for next week. I think that's it. Yeah, and chat with you on Facebook and Instagram as always. But yeah, hopefully try and do this again in a couple of weeks. All right then, guys. I'm going to keep talking whilst I try and find the window to close this. But yeah, here we go. Take care. Catch you in the next one. Take it easy, guys. Bye.